We're back. We're here. I can't believe it. The new BKFC show. We took a sledgehammer to the old studio, and now we're back again. I got my man Rob. It's been a while. Good to see you, my brother.
Good to see
How are you?
I'm great. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm phenomenal, and there's so much to get into today. We got to run it down, man, because it's been a while. We're live from Satellite 5, back at it again. We're going to talk about Triller. We saw Mike Perry fight on Triller. He got paid a lot of money, and we're going to have Mike Perry as a guest on today. We'll talk to him.
That's going to be exciting.
Well, who knows what's going to happen? You never know with Mike Perry, man.
Right.
The Platinum one himself. And then also, another guy we're going to have on later, Tyler Goodjohn, which I never thought we'd speak his name again in BKFC. I didn't know what's going on with him. We're going to get into everything, man. Will he fight for BKFC? What happened with this payment scandal he was talking about? All of it. We're going to ask it all. We're not afraid because we want the answers. We see a lot of stuff on social media. Also going to have a BKFC 22 review. It's been a while, Rob, and we're back at it again. Very excited. Before we get into all this, I have to ask you, like a gentleman that I am,
sir,
how was your Thanksgiving, sir?
It was actually really, really good. I cooked a turkey.
I cooked
the turkey, man.
Did you?
No, old school style, man. Put it in the oven, baste it every 30 minutes.
Did you enjoy? I feel like you're a guy that would enjoy basting. Is that strange? I feel like you would really get something about that.
I really do enjoy basting.
Of course you do.
Really strange.
I can just see it in your eyes. Yeah, my Thanksgiving was great as well. I was in South Carolina. Beautiful for our viewers in South Carolina. It's wonderful there. Went to my sister-in-law's house. I didn't have to do any cooking.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
That's convenient.
Yeah, kids were there. 10.5-hour drive. It was a fun time. We enjoyed it.
You doing one day?
We did it overnight. We left at like we left at like 8:30. Got there at like 6 something. I think that's I might be
perfect,
messing.
man. When the kids are sleeping in the car,
Knocked him out. And on the way home, same thing. My son was so excited to stop at South of the Border. 3-year-old. He thought it was the greatest thing ever. South in the border. South in the border. And it's all good. My baby was sleeping, so it was a good
spot,
Thanksgiving.
Man.
Did you pass out for the tryptophan or whatever it's called?
Oh, dude, I was eating and they're like, all right, we're gonna have coffee now, and I'm like dozing off. I'm like walking in different rooms in my house to try to sleep.
Sleep for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and like, hey, where are you? Where am I? My kids running around. I'm like, this is too much.
Before we get off this, my last question is, I asked this to the chat as well. Do you guys wear sweatpants? I always wear sweatpants or warm pants. You have to for Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, you got to rock the sweats.
Did you?
Yeah, dad sweats,
good
man.
Deal.
Yeah.
That's they're the best. So again, a lot of stuff to get into. I think the first thing we should talk about is Triller a little bit because one of our guys, Mike Perry, who has signed with us, at least I think he has. I believe it's a 3-fight deal. I'm going to ask him about that later when we talk to him. He fought and he made a big chunk of change. He was very happy. He did very well for himself. How did you feel about that fight? Did you think he won it? I saw some controversy about it.
I think he won the fight. Yeah, he got knocked down. I think he won the fight. He had a very good showing. Professional boxer, was, Michael Seal. Hey, what else can you expect out of an MMA versus a boxing match? That's awesome.
Well, it was a little different, I would guess, from both of them. Different rules, different gloves for the pro boxer. I know that I believe that Mike Perry was a trained boxer when he was younger. He was trained in. He's also an MMA guy. So I always say that about bare knuckle too. When these MMA people come in your mind, muscle memory, are you shooting takedowns? It's different rule set. So it's interesting. And what I learned from seeing that was that a lot of people were saying this, and I definitely agree after watching it. Mike Perry is made for bare knuckle fighting championship, and I can't wait to see him with us now. That got me more excited watching that. Now,
me too.
The card as a whole, I'm not going to talk bad about it. It was beautiful production. It was, they're trying something new. I respect that, but
it's different.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Actually,
would you pay to watch a Metallica concert?
No, I wouldn't. And I like Metallica. I'm a huge Kiss fan, and I wouldn't pay money on a pay-per-view as a Kiss fan to watch Kiss with fights. I don't think I would do that.
Yeah,
that's just not me.
Me neither. I think from a national standpoint, like ordering it on pay-per-view, I don't think it's a draw, and this is just my guesstimate. Who's paying to watch a band? Now live, that's a whole other situation.
It's cool.
Yeah, you go to watch your favorite artists live for sure. But nationally,
What about if it was like Loverboy or Flock of Seagulls? Would you pay for that, Rob? I believe you would.
If it was an 80s tribute, yeah, hell yeah, man.
And I'm curious from the chat. I mean, did you guys watch it? Would you pay to watch a band and the fights? And I mean, it was like a concert with fighting going on. I guess that's their business model, and maybe they think that'll apply more. I think that applies more to mainstream people, or that's what they're thinking, than fight fans. They're out for the big grab. That's how I looked at it. But Mike Perry, impressive showing. Excited to see him in bare knuckle. Frank Mir,
headlining the event.
Yeah, he headlined. He did, and I would have gotten crushed in there within a second. But when he was getting hit, he was kind of dancing at the end there, and then they called it, right? I mean, Frank, I shook Frank's hand when he's at one of our events. I would not want to get hit by one of his hands. I wouldn't.
Frank Mir is about as solid as it comes. Great. Yeah. But he's fighting the top tier, some of the best boxers in elite style. These are elite fighters.
Not easy.
He went up against someone who fought Anthony Joshua. You know, the fighter he fought was 28-2, I believe. I think that's what his record was going into it.
Yes.
And Steve Cunningham, you know, Frank Mir came up short in the past 2 fights, but you got to take your hat off. He's not running. He's fighting some really game opponents.
He's one of those guys. Do you think he's testing himself? Do you think he's doing it for the money? A little bit of both. He just misses being involved in the combat of the sport. I mean, where do you think his head's at? Why do you think he did the paycheck?
Heavyweights fighting with, I believe it's the Old Pride 8-ounce MMA gloves.
Yes, I think so too.
So that's wow, man. That's just knockout written all over it. You're heavyweights. You're throwing, you know, power behind those shots. You have those tiny little gloves. Someone's going to get dropped.
But we'll talk about this with Mike Perry. I always like to ask this question, and I'll probably with Tyler maybe as well. What's your why? Like, why are you doing this? Why do you want to be a bare knuckle fighter? And again, I wonder, Frank Mir, big guy, like he's tough, but at this point in his career, is it for the money? Is it for the fame? Is it that he misses fighting? I mean, should he be sitting back with a drink and relaxing? He just can't because he's a fighter. Where's Frank Mir's head at? What do you believe? And I'm curious to see what the chat thinks too.
I think Frank Mir can't stop fighting because he doesn't want to stop fighting. I think it's something engraved into him. I don't think he needs the money at all. You know, his play-by-play analysis, when I hear him, he's amazing.
He's great.
He's great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm talking way back when the promotion that UFC purchased. I can't come to mind right now. WEC.
Yes.
He was a play-by-play on WEC. Yes. And I was like, wow, this guy is so intelligent. I learned so much by just listening to him talk about this sport and how great he is, and a great fighter. I know he's doing other things, other business ventures. I don't think he needs the money. I just think that he's a fighter.
Fighters fight.
Exactly.
Like Apollo Creed said.
His daughter's a fighter now as well, so it's in their blood. That's just what they do. They're gladiators. You can't take that away from them.
It's not like some damn light switch that you flip on or off, like Apollo Creed said. Which, by the way, before we get to Tyler Goodjohn here in a couple minutes, you know what's up. I have to ask you. I don't know how many people even know about this. I was shocked at the number of people that didn't know that Sly re-released Rocky IV. Did you know this? One night only when we were in Miami for BKFC. He released it in theaters for one night.
Really?
He had a big promo in Philly about it. He was in Philly, and he recut the entire movie during COVID because he was unhappy with it. I like the original version. He was unhappy with it.
What did he change?
It's a completely different story now. It tells a different story. He changed the fight scenes. He changed everything. It's a different movie. It's crazy. It's worth a watch. It's more dramatic.
Did you see it
now.
in the theaters?
Yeah, no, I was at BKFC. I wanted to. But I was trying to get Chris Lytle and stuff to go, but we couldn't get there.
Okay.
So I watched it. You can watch it on, I guess, streaming services platforms now.
Gotcha.
And I watched it. It was very late, and I have 2 kids, so I fall asleep when I watch TV if it's good. But I did enjoy it. It's definitely more dramatic now. And he actually said there's a great documentary about him recutting it too on YouTube. I forget the name of it, but he said that he was unhappy with it, and he said it was like being on his deathbed almost, and leaving his wares, what he's created for the public, and he got a chance to redo Rocky, so he thought it would take like 2 days, and he poured over it for a long time.
Really?
And they show him watching and editing. He changed a lot, and he actually said he would not. I'm not.
While he's at it, he should change Rocky V because
that's what I thought. There's like
that's a train wreck, man. You should
fix that one.
Yeah, I think. All right. Real fast, worst Rocky V. That's my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
What's yours?
Oh, it's hard for me to say worst Rocky because they all have something good if you look into them, but it's really hard to find something good in Rocky V. And I'll tell you the goodness. There's the good thing in Rocky V.
Touch me and I'll sue.
There's that, and leave him there like the bum in the street when you found him. And was it you knocked him down? Why don't you try knocking me down? They're the good lines.
It had some good points to
and
it.
If you look really closely, there's a
Don King.
And there's yeah, he was great. What was his name? There's Mason Dixon Line or something. But there was also, if you look at the fight in the street with Tommy the Duke Morrison at the end, what was he there? Tommy Gunn. You can see in the background is a blonde woman, and that blonde woman was the little girl that he walked home and told him to screw off, creepo, in the other Rocky.
Really?
She's back there. Yeah,
a little bit Easter egg.
Little Marie.
Yeah, that's cool.
I know I love Rocky, so I know these things, but. Definitely check him out. We got Goodjohn coming on in just a couple minutes. If you've seen Rocky IV, let me know what you think about it in the comments because Rob hasn't seen it.
I gotta check it out. The new one.
You should.
I saw the original Rocky.
I think it's called
1,000 times.
I think it's Balboa versus Drago or something. It's called.
He renamed it.
It's the director's cut, so he kind of changed because it's a different movie, dude. They cut the robot out too.
No
Everyone
way.
hates the robot. I like the robot.
Really? You cut the robot out?
Happy birthday, Paulie.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Paulie. They cut him out. He didn't like that. He was for some reason that really bothered him. And locally,
here's your drink, Paulie.
Here's Yeah, he's like his. I think that fit Paulie perfectly. He gets money. What's the first thing he does? He has a robot, and he loves it. It's his servant.
Paulie, man.
Paulie's great, but
unsilent majority.
big mouth. Yeah. I liked when he's like when they're training in Russia, and he's like, they better have my comics here. Like, it's all he cares about. Why'd you pick this place to train? Rocky thinks he's going to paradise.
He's a great actor, man. That guy.
I met him at a dinner. It was me, my wife, now who's my girlfriend at the time, and just him and one other guy in a restaurant. It was Super Bowl Sunday.
Nice.
I took her to Victor Cafe in Philly, which is Adrian's in the movie.
Okay.
And I'm like, this guy looks like Paulie. And I don't want to be a weirdo. It's like one of my first dates with my wife. Got up to go to the bathroom. I come back, and Paulie goes, "You suck." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "You suck." No, I'm not calling him Bert. He's Paulie to me. And I'm like, "Huh?" He's like, when I used to do pro wrestling, we were called the chick magnets.
Okay.
He's like, the chick magnets suck. And I'm like, how does Paulie know me? I'm so happy he thinks I suck, because you understand, I grew up in Philly. Rocky's like way up here, you know?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it turned out that the owner of the place knew me, and he said, did you have a gig? And Paulie asked my girlfriend when I left to go to the bathroom, because I had long hair, these big sideburns, what's he, a musician? She said, actually, no, he does pro wrestling. And they got talking about it, so they played a joke on me when I got back. Paulie was super cool, man.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he's super cool.
Does he live in Philly, or is he
No,
just there
he was actually, I think he's in New York. He had a restaurant in New York too, I think, for a while, Italian restaurant. But I will say this, the Teamster guy he was eating with, go figure, he told us that Paulie, when he goes to pick him up, he said, this guy, and he's an older guy. Mm-hmm. He actually stood up in the restaurant and made me feel his forearms. They were like concrete. And then they were telling me he like pick him up. He would pick up like actual concrete and do stairs in the morning. He's like 80.
Wow.
This guy didn't care. He's in shape.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all about Rocky. I got very excited, as you can see. Rocky IV was the first Rocky I ever saw, matter of fact, when I was a kid. So that's what got my love for Rocky. But real quick, what was your favorite Rocky?
My favorite Rocky? Mm-hmm. It was 4. Like Rocky 4 was my favorite.
How can it not be? No,
I mean, I love 2. You know, 2 was great. It was a comeback story. You know, I think everyone knew how it was going to end.
Yeah, come on. I mean, they're all great.
But man, for just pure like quoting factor.
Oh yeah.
Rocky 3, Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang, Mr. T. Oh.
Yeah. Thunder Lips.
Look, we're gonna go all day.
Man.
We're gonna go all day.
Yeah.
You know something, dude? We're gonna go all day with this. So we have Tyler Goodjohn waiting on the line. As you throw in the comments what your favorite Rocky is, by the way, you can drop that in there. Tyler Goodjohn waiting on the line. Rob, like we said, we're pulling no punches. A lot of stuff we're gonna talk about. I'm excited that we have our new Supertron here, where we're gonna see Tyler. Apparently, I think there he is.
There he
Tyler
is.
Goodjohn. Whoa! How you doing, man?
I'm good, fellas. How are you?
Pretty good. I haven't spoken to you forever. It's good to talk to you. I hope you're feeling all right. Congrats on your new gym. I saw you open a new gym.
Yeah. No, everything's been going well. Opened the gym Monday, so happy days. It's all good here, back home in England, sunny England, warm England.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, congrats on the new gym, man. And I believe I saw some stuff, and Rob can unpack this more, that I know I saw Luis Baboon posting about. You guys seem to be very cool now. We'll talk about that. But I also want to learn more about, you had an injury, which I was going to reach out to you. Are you okay now? I mean, Rob has more on that too.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was an injury that, like, all fighters have injuries that reoccur and happen over, years of their career and that. And to be honest, before the Palomino fight, I was doing my CrossFit, as I always do my rehab on my shoulder injury, and my shoulder went. And I had two cortisones in my shoulder before I went to Dominica, and then it got me through the fight, and that no complaints. Like, it wasn't why I lost or anything like that. And then I just come home. I started training as I do, and my shoulder just completely give way. Basically, it's just like my AC joint has squeezed all the cartilage out, and it's just been bone on bone for so long now. It's just, it needed the surgeon to go in, clean it all up, remove bits of bone and stuff like that. Just basically clean the bone up and that. And yeah, I'm well on my way now. I see the surgeon again on Monday for like my monthly checkup, and he had an X-ray on my shoulder and just said, look, I'm well ahead of where I should be. And I'm back doing bits of training now. I'm back doing bits of running and a few circuits and stuff like that. In terms of like weight training, I can't do that yet, but it shouldn't be too long.
So you just finished up your surgery. It sounds like that everything did go well. You just opened up a brand new gym. Now, is this your retirement from combat sports? Do you plan on coming back? What's the next step in the future for Tyler Goodjohn?
the way I see it, I feel like bare knuckle boxing, bare knuckle fighting, combat sports in general, I feel like it needs me. It needs characters like me. It needs fighters like me. I mean, you know, I put it on the line every single time I fight. So yeah, if a promotion pays me what I'm worth and shows me what I'm worth, I'm willing to come back. You know, every fighter needs something to fall back on in their life, and you know, I've created something in my life now that I can make money from and elsewhere from boxing. But boxing and fighting is always going to be in my heart, so I'm always going to want to do it. Especially as I'm only 30, I'm in my peak now. So, like I say, with the right people behind me, you're going to see the very best in me.
Yeah, and we're excited to see the very best you wherever you may land. I mean, hopefully we see you come back here. I know there's a lot of heat going on, or some stuff going on. We'll get to that in a couple minutes. But let's talk a little bit about your last performance. I mean, I loved it. I was there live. Luis Palomino, you came to fight. You were coming to entertain as always. How did you feel about that fight? Looking back on it, I mean, you know, you feel a certain way during the fight, after the fight, but now you're, a couple months removed. Looking back, where's your head at?
As it always was, really. After the fight, I had no complaints about the who won. You know, Luis done what he done. He exploited everything that I was weak at. You know, the clinch, and then the big circle ring. He used the room. You know, and he done what he had to do to win. The clinch was a big thing for me in the first round. He got me in the clinch and he ripped me with 2 uppercuts. And I've got the scar here now. The blood just kept pouring into my eye. So for the first 2 rounds, I was pretty much blind in that eye. It went white. You can see me in the fight trying to get the blood out of my eye. So, and not only that, I was screaming from the hilltops that I wanted over 7 rounds, 5-2, but it's very quick. So, like I said, I have no complaints who won the fight. He clearly won the fight. But I've done myself proud. And I said I was going to put a show on, and I took the fight to Luis, and I won his respect, and I won his team's respect.
It seemed like you got that when I was doing the post-fight. I mean, he took a big chunk of his post-fight to put you over and say what a warrior you were. And I respect that a lot about Luis, because some of the heat you guys had going in, he let all that go, and he saw it was 2 men fighting, and that's a great way to end things. Now it seems like you've kind of befriended him. Did I see that his sponsor or somebody's taking care of your surgery and helping you out?
Yeah, so Florida Yachts International are now going to be my management. I'm going to be coming over and I'm going to be training at El Tigre with Palomino. I'm going to be living out there and just training, learning from the man himself and see what happens. I'm going to be part, like I said, I'm going to have big sponsorship behind me, looking after me. I'm going to have an agent and everything else. So I'm basically getting everything that I've ever wanted. I just want to be looked after right, and I can just get on with my job and perform to the best of my ability then.
Speaking of Palomino, did you check out his last bout versus Dat Nguyen? And what was your opinion on that, his performance during that fight? I was first and foremost, I was surprised he was even fighting after the COVID thing. Mm-hmm. I was messaging him and I spoke to him quite a bit when he was in hospital and that. And, to see how he spent like that length of time in hospital and then, what was it, like 6 weeks later, he's fighting, defending his world title. I thought that was pretty amazing, really. But, he done the fight. He'll admit himself he probably didn't look his best. I thought he well won the fight. I didn't really think that done anything. I think, he come forward throwing very wild shots, but he didn't really land anything. But, what can you say? The guy's just spent 12 weeks in hospital, come out. I thought he won it. To be honest with you, I didn't watch it live because obviously it's like 4 a.m. here. Mm-hmm. I watched it the next day and I sort of looked at the comments on Instagram before I watched the fight, and everyone was like, "Wow, that's been robbed." And I was like, "Whoa, okay." Watched the fight, and I couldn't really understand why everyone was screaming that it'd been robbed, because I didn't really see him land anything of any real note. I thought it was a pretty
But Tyler, I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire, and I saw a lot of those comments too, and I kind of more feel the way you feel. But where there's smoke, there's fire. Why would you think people would say that if you didn't see that at all, and I didn't see that as much as fans looking at it?
Look, I do think that people sometimes, particularly in bare knuckle boxing, I don't think the skill set gets as much appreciation as it should do. Like, one thing about Luis is, he beat me with his feet. Do you know what I mean? His feet were masterful, and I think you have to appreciate that. Like, he's very, very good on his feet, and that's what I see him do against that. He just jabbed, moved, and I honestly thought I'd perhaps give that a draw of a round, but I don't think anything apart from that. But yeah, sometimes I think people just want to see blood and guts, and sometimes you just got to appreciate that he's showing another side of his talent. He goes in there and he's shown that he can blow people away, but he's shown against me and that also he can get on his bike and he can box and move as well. So it's just haters, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Let's talk about the 155-pound division. I mean, Rob, we were talking about this before we went on the air. It's a stacked division. You can speak more to that. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Chad Mendez, we got Martin Brown, we have Bobby Taylor, both undefeated.
Yep. Jim Allers is in there.
Jim Allers in the mix.
Palomino.
Only losses to Palomino. Obviously you would be in the mix with that, and you have the champion. I think this is the most stacked division. If you had your choice, and it sounds like you're coming to train with Luis, would you run that fight back, or who would you like to see in that division if you had your pick?
I mean, I've spoke to Luis about I think the fight that he wants is obviously with the Chad Mendez fight.
Of course,
they're both big MMA fighters, with big achievements and that. So that's the fight you've got to say. It's the fight that everyone wants to see as well at 155, I think. But look, you know me. I'm the easiest person to manage, to promote in the world, because you tell me to fight someone and I fight them. That's why I don't really get all the aggro that I've sort of got over the past year, because I'm the easiest person in the world to promote. I will literally fight anyone, and I've shown it. I've travelled the other side of the world twice, quarantined twice, trained on my own, and I'll fight one for the world title. There's no question of my heart or who I fight. So
I agree. You do have a lot of heart. You're enjoyable to watch fight, but I mean, I think now's the time to do it. You're bringing it up. Let's address this elephant in the room here. You and David Feldman clearly don't see eye to eye. I mean, that's clear as day, but that's not business. That's personal. That's seeing eye to eye, at least from what I can see right now. Business-wise, would you ever consider a return to BKFC? I mean, you're going to be in Florida. You're going to be training with Luis. Would that be something that's off the table if they came to you with the right deal? How would that work?
You know what? The only way I'd be back in BKC is if Dave Feldman grew a pair of bollocks and faced me himself in the ring. Because to me, after all the shit he's put me through this last year, and him going online and saying that he doesn't like me and this and that, that's the only fight I'd go back to be.
That's definitely it's a fantasy fight. Dave's far retired. Would you consider coming back to BKFC, or are you looking for a lighter round of fighters? Because BKFC has the deepest pool. Let's be honest, in the world.
I mean, you could even admit that, Tyler.
You know what? I just want to go where I'm appreciated. Mm-hmm. I'm 30 years old now. I've been fighting 20 years, and I'll be honest with you, I was a professional glove boxer before I'd done bare knuckle. And I was signed with Eddie Hearn, arguably the biggest promoter in the world, and that guy dogged me worse than anyone. Then I moved to BKB, the bare knuckle, loaded dogs there, and then I've come here and I've come to BKFC and I've not got Tret right. I just want to be Tret right. As far as I'm concerned, I will fight anyone. Like I say, and I will do the utmost to make it happen. I've not shown that, and I just want to be Tret fairly. I want to be paid fairly. I just want to be Tret fairly. And if that happens,
all right. For your previous two fights, were you paid?
I was paid the money my fight, but I was not paid a lot of the expenses that I were promised. And I mean, look, it doesn't matter if I'm paid X amount for the fight. If you've not paid any of my expenses, all my money is going on that anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I've not actually earned any money. All my fight money has just paid loans that I've had to take out for expenses that BKC haven't paid me. Do you understand?
So the fight money was paid. I don't know the specifics. I'm not the contract guy. I'm not the money guy. But you went online. You said you weren't paid. It sounds like you were paid for the 2 fights. You know, if there's something that BKFC and Tyler Goodjohn in the future come to an agreement, obviously, you know, we would love to see you back. I would.
Me too. Yeah, 100%. I enjoy you.
Sounds like you're going to be training in USA. So, you know, that's something that we will be looking forward to see you back in the ring.
As far as I'm concerned, Dave Feldman just needs to have a quiet little word with himself and needs to just go address that if he cannot get an international fighter from A to B safely, he shouldn't be promoted. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's it. Like, because BKFC, I haven't got a bad word to say about BKFC. Everyone I've spoke to, I've gone, do you know what? BKFC is massive. In America, it's huge. It's almost bigger than boxing, I'd say, in America, you know? And it has every right to be big because it is great. The production's brilliant, everything. But I'm an international fighter and I was a world champion fighter coming over, giving my life, putting my life on the line. And I just need to be shown more respect and more appreciation and given the things that were promised, you know. And until Dave sorts that out, unfortunately, I won't be there to put on the show for the fans, you know.
Well, hopefully we can get that sorted out. I do. As you're talking, I keep having all these questions. One being, I know that when I watched your journey. We interviewed you when you're in Dubai, I believe. That's where you quarantined, right?
Yeah.
Why Dubai? Why did you choose there? Why not somewhere else? Was it the only place available you could go to?
Dubai. So the first fight I had to quarantine in Dubai. Yeah, that was the only green zone area. I mean, to be honest with you, I would have preferred to quarantine somewhere else because it was 16-hour flight from America, so I had to do the long 16-hour flight, and that was horrendous. So I'd rather have done it somewhere else, but you know, we done what we had to do. And then the second time round, I remember speaking to Dave, and it was between Canada, Puerto Rico, Dominican, and Mexico, I think it was, that I had to quarantine. And then next thing I know, you guys had told me that I'm going to Dominican, so boom, I'm going to Dominican. Yeah, like I say, you know, you've obviously been told a lot of stuff, and Dave has these things that he says, but I come out there, I done everything I'd said I'd do. I kept to my word, and he didn't.
I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry to hear that again. Rob and I were not in the business negotiations. I know you as a fighter. I know you as a person. So I'm sorry to hear that, and I hope that I hope we see you back soon. I want to watch you fight anybody.
One of the things that I don't think anyone can control is the quarantine and what happens tomorrow regarding. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's something at the very top that I honestly don't even know that half the people that are calling the shots in America and around the world as to what's the next step with the virus, which I think obviously threw a wrench into. I would love to see you without a quarantine with every international fighter, any fighter for that matter, to see what would actually really happen.
But he's coming to Florida, so there's no quarantine.
I'm going to be with Florida Yachts International, with Luis, with Chris Navarro. He's going to be my agent. Look, if I'm going to be looked after now. I've got a management now. You know, they're going to look after me. If they can get me the right deal, the right fight, it's up to them. You know,
sounds good.
Like I say, I'm in a really good position. I've never been lucky enough to have anyone look after me in fighting. You know, and I think that's why Luis has reached out, because you know we've had stories where he's not been looked after as a fighter, and he's gone all through the things that I've gone through. So he's now opening the door to a better future for myself. So, yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have fought him and have met him and been given the chance. And then, like I say, Ralph Navarro, Florida Yachts International, and Chris Navarro are going to be in my management, and they're the ones that have put it all together. So
this is exciting for you. This is very exciting for you because you've been run ragged with, you're saying, promoters, management, and stuff like that, which you don't deserve. And I think that would it be fair to say, since it's Luis and he's a fighter, you can trust him a little more. You feel like he understands more than maybe what a past promoter when you're boxing did. So you seem very excited about this. We're excited for you. Like I said, I'd like to see you fight anybody in BKFC except me. You can fight Rob. That'd be fun to watch.
I quit.
And look, when I was out there and I was around everything, like I say, I ain't got a bad word to say about BKFC. The shows are amazing. You go there yourself, you're gonna see it. And I know my worth. Do you know what I mean? And as a fighter, I can say I know my worth. I know that, I'm a marketable character. You tell me to do something or you want me to do something, I do it. Do you know what I mean? I'm a very marketable character and I'm a very good fighter and I'm entertaining. So you just got to know your worth. And like I say, I want to be appreciated as a fighter.
I agree. I love watching you. And before we let you go, I have to ask you this. We have, after you later on the show, we have Mike Perry coming up, Platinum Mike Perry. And when we first signed you, put your picture up, everyone kept saying you guys look like twins and stuff.
Is that the British Mike Perry?
Yeah. Did you ever meet Mike Perry?
I've never met Mike Perry. Everybody on Instagram has told me that we're doubles. Literally every time I put a picture up, someone says that I look like Mike Perry. I know that he's, he was a big name in UFC, and I was a big signing for Bare Knuckle FC. He's an entertaining fighter, his style. So. Yeah, I look forward to seeing what he's going to do in Bare Knuckle and if it suits him,
It's going to suit him. I saw after we saw him on Triller, I think he's going to be great in Bare Knuckle. And I don't know if Mike Perry looks like you or you look like him. I can't figure this out. We figured who was born first and all this good stuff. And Rob, is there anything else you had to add to this before we go?
That's it, man. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much, Tyler.
The world deserves to see you fight BKFC again, and we're looking forward to it. I'd love it to be in England one day. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
wouldn't
that'd
it?
be cool.
Just saying.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless, and like I say, I know my worth in this game, and I can bring this over to England, and I'm gonna blow it up. People, they love me here in England, they love me in America. Anything can happen.
Hey man, it's as the Goodjohn turns. We're gonna follow the story, and I hope we have you on again, and I hope that we see you in BKFC. Because here's the thing, with your skill set, you'll run through any other organization. They're lower skill sets, so come with the best, and hopefully we can get you back here again. And before we let you go, I know you've had some problems with your social media, getting hacked and stuff. So please plug your social media.
Okay, please. So I had, my emails got hacked, my Instagram got hacked. So my newest Instagram is El Tornado Tyler 1. That is the newest one. That is the official one. So if you're thinking why I've not posted in about 3 months, it's because a Syrian guy hacked me and kept trying to message me to get money off me. And I wasn't having it.
If he knew who you were, he wouldn't have dared have done that. Tyler Goodjohn, El Tornado, thank you for coming on today. I wish you the best of luck in whatever you do, my friend.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tyler.
Take care, Tyler.
Well, there goes Tyler Goodjohn.
Yeah, man.
There was very honest discussion. I love these honest discussions. I love that we don't have to throw softballs, and I'm excited to see. Do you think he'll be back, honestly, after that conversation?
Hell yeah, man. Why do you think he's moving to America?
Yeah. I mean
for the beaches with Luis Palomino. And Luis Palomino, I want to bring him on next. Let's ask him how BKFC and Dave Feldman treat him. I personally think it's just personal. It has nothing to do, and he said that, it has nothing to do with BKFC. You just have two personalities. You have David Feldman and you have Tyler Goodjohn. And sometimes they can't get along. You're Vince McMahon.
That's what I was going to say.
You're Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You're right. I mean, they didn't get along.
In the real world, not just make-believe stuff.
But that's the thing. We've been around Dave long enough where we know at the end of the day, who doesn't? He's running a business. He's a businessman. He likes money, as we all do. So if you got a guy that can make money and you bring him back, personal, Vince McMahon was big with that. It can be personal. You guys can dislike each other. Just stay away, and both of you make money. It makes sense.
Can the boys in the back weigh in?
I'd love to talk to Evan and everyone in the back in the production room to see what they think about Tyler and what they just saw.
Well, we've seen Tyler, quarantining. He was in Dubai. He didn't have a coach, or not Dubai, sorry, in Dominican. Tyler comes back. He's here in Florida. He gets a full camp in. Palomino's coaches, they're the top coaches. I think we see a totally different Tyler Goodjohn. Tyler, if you're still watching, man, something to think about. I think we'd love it. The fans would love it. I think the fans deserve to see it. And I think, whatever's going on between you and Dave, for the sake of the fans, I think we need to get over that just to see Tyler back in the lightweight division, shaking things up.
I agree, Evan. I'm going to request a meeting with Dave. He's a very busy man, but I'm going to talk to him about trying to get Tyler back here. And I agree with everything you're saying there because, again, he's a character. He knows what he's doing, and he's fun to watch. I feel like when he's fighting, some guys are just out there fighting. He seems to enjoy it so much.
Yeah, he's a colorful guy. He's a great fighter. I think Palomino really exposed him. When I say exposed, I'll be very strategic in when I say that Palomino knew that he had to quarantine. He knew that he was also coming off of COVID not too long ago, and he had a shoulder issue. I'm not making any excuses. Palomino is just masterclass.
He's amazing.
And exploited every potential weakness he had. But it seems like they're cool. He's coming to America.
Strange bedfellows, right?
Yeah. Hey, man,
wait a minute.
This is exactly what what were we just talking about?
All this stuff. I don't remember what we were talking about.
Rocky Apollo Creed being worse, being
and then look what happens.
Exactly.
So it's awesome. The same thing. Think about that. Just think for a second if you're new to this, even if you're not. Look it up. The build-up between those two. I was in the middle the first time when Tyler showed up on like ringside and stuff. And then if you keep looking, I sat across from Luis. He's like, I want to break that man's jaw. And he said it wasn't for fight build. He really felt that way. It's like with Dat. He wanted to knock his teeth out. But if you notice, Dat didn't get the same respect at the end of the fight from Luis that Tyler got, which is very interesting.
I want to talk to Luis about this. Dat went personal. He literally went after Palomino's family. And I'm going to save this for a little bit later because I want to give my take on it. I heard Goodjohn's take on that fight. I want to give my take on that fight because it might be a little bit different. I did not see Dat winning the fight, but it was a whole hell of a lot closer than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was closer than I thought, too. I mean, for Dat to come up 20 pounds like that, if you look at it, I think Luis even said this when we interviewed him. He's correct. He has everything to lose. If he loses, he lost to a guy that came up 20 pounds.
I don't know why he took the fight, to be honest.
Well, regardless of why he took the fight, I don't care because it was a hell of a fight to watch. It was fun. I think the top 3 matches at BKFC in Miami was at BKFC 22.
Absolutely.
The whole card, but the top 3, I know I don't know what we will have, but I'd love to see them all run back. They were such good fights, man.
They were amazing. I thought Palomino was going to knock him out in the first round. I was like, this guy is nuts, man. You're coming up 2 weight classes to fight one of the best to ever fight, period, in combat sports. UFC, mixed martial arts, boxing, BKFC. This dude is going to knock your block off.
Yeah, and Palomino's a tough guy.
And after round 1, I was, God. I was like, I got Dat Nguyen winning first round. That I definitely have that. Second round is very, very questionable. And then Palomino just, he found that extra gear and amazing. Just perfect.
Now, we have Mike Perry coming up, too, in a couple minutes. I don't want to get off this, but if we keep talking about this, all the other podcasts we're going to be talking about, then they're going to beat us to it. Even though we love you, because we know you're watching. You guys are awesome. We missed every one of you. We still have to have some of our own stuff. But we do have Mike Perry coming up. Mike Perry's coming up. What time do we have him scheduled for? Do you remember? Is it 1:15?
I think it's around like 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, you know better than I do. I don't know much anything. But I'm excited to see Platinum Mike Perry come up. You never know what to expect with him. I was. You could tell I couldn't wait to rifle off that question with Tyler Goodjohn. Do you know you look like him? He knew, but I always want to see what he'd say. And another real quick, let me back up. We're talking about Tyler. You ever notice the tattoo on his head up here? If you go back and look, he's got a tattoo, I think right here in his head, it's scissors. And I think he got that after, I don't remember what fight it was after. It was after one of the BKFC fights, maybe his first one.
He's like an American rapper, man. I can't keep up with
Well, he had stitches there. He had stitches, so he got scissors like cut until his cut. Okay. Creative tattoo to memorialize his time in America fighting. But again, I think we'll see him. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to Platinum Mike Perry coming up in a couple minutes. We're going to unpack BKFC 22 when we come back right after. I haven't done this in months. Am I doing this right? Right after this.
The world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, is live from the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Tampa. Thursday, December 9th, it's a lightweight title eliminator as Martin Brown and Bobby Taylor knuckle up for a golden opportunity. Also, Delaney Bailey looks for her next win, but the resilient Jenny Savage stands in her way. Plus the return of Dave Redneck Mundell. BKFC Fight Night Tampa, Thursday, December 9th, only on the Bare Knuckle TV app. Download it at bkfc.com.
Tiger Life is not about race or religion, black or white, young or old, male or female. It's not about where you live or where you're from. It's about finding your why in life. Tiger Life is a way of life. It's a purpose, a light, the future. We all have a story to tell, so let's tell it. It's time to be heard. Just remember, we may not be able to rewrite our story, but we sure as hell can change the ending. Tiger Life. Energy never tasted so good.
And we are back. Well, I am. See, Rob does this. It's the first show back, and this moron, this slug, has to go to the bathroom during the show. He should take care of that head. Or me, what I do is I keep a little thing down here, and I go while I'm talking to you. You can't even see it. He just leaves in the middle of the show. I don't know what happens.
You go right into Tiger Life.
I do. The Tiger Life goes in here, and it comes out the other end. It's just like it's constant in me. Constant. Love Tiger Life. Wait, let's plug them real quick. Tiger Life. Hey, thanks everybody for watching. I'm sure Big Ben's in the comments section. I'm sure that the Enforcer's in there. Here it comes back. I just called you a slug. I'm like, he left me. He rolled. What did you do? What had to be?
I had to pee.
It was number 1 or 2. It was number 1.
I had to pee, man. This energy drink's running right
What are you,
through
an old
me.
man? Get your prostate examined. Do you wake up in the middle of the night too?
What's that?
Do you wake up in the middle of the night? How many times?
I do, but a bad shoulder, bad neck.
Oh, your neck's still bothering
Bad
you.
neck. This guy breaks my neck alive. What episode
Was that about
was
a year ago?
Oh,
A
man.
little less? I hope you're feeling okay.
Why am I looking at a feed and I'm not in the chair? That's so strange.
Because it's delayed, Rob. Come on, man. You're a professional
What
broadcaster.
time
now.
are we going back on air?
We're on air now. That's what I'm saying to you, schmuck.
What's up? What's up, man?
He's acting like he doesn't know. Come on, man. He's doing a whole bit here. You're the man, Rob. All right. So we'll talk about BKFC 22. We have to unpack some of the drama from that and stuff. But let's talk about the Tampa card. A lot of people excited about the Tampa card. I have it right here because I don't want to miss anything. I know you do too. That's. I just clicked on Jackson. I'm excited for that.
Main
too.
event: Martin Brown. 2-0.
Yeah, and Bobby Taylor.
Versus Bobby Taylor. Martin Brown being out because of a torn ACL at his last fight versus Zach Zane in Florida.
And we spoke with him with his torn
What a
ACL
great
off
guy.
the air.
What a
Wonderful
great man.
guy. Couldn't wait to get back in. Couldn't wait to fight more. So this is going to be him coming back, and he's
gotta
going to
get
be
him on
pumped.
next.
Yeah, we should talk to him.
Yeah,
He's-
for those that don't know, Martin Brown is, man, talk about world-class athlete, world-class boxer. You would think the most savage person you've ever met.
Nicest
could
guy
not,
ever.
Yeah, could not be the
Yeah, right.
nicest, most polite. Love speaking with him.
Yeah,
Great guy.
He's wonderful.
But he's fighting
That's going to be good. Bobby
Captain
Taylor.
America, dude. This guy keeps getting older, keeps getting better. 3-0 in BKFC.
What's he drinking? Maybe Tiger Life. I don't know. He keeps getting better.
I am excited, man. That's a fight. And this is the best, man.
I know
And this
what
is
you're
why
gonna say.
we're wrapping all this together is the winner to that is going to face Palomino.
Yeah, and that's going to, either way, it's going to be a fun fight to watch. And I'm excited for that. Like, excuse me, Tiger Life burp. I'm sorry. I'm excited for that as well because the stakes are high.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about the golden ticket, right? Willy Wonka. One of them gets the golden ticket when
Smash
they
that,
win.
yep.
It's so true.
You're cashing out.
And when you cash in, that's a life changer, it's a game changer, it's a career changer. So we're really excited for that fight. And we know it's going to be a great fight. These guys, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Also, a lot of people talking about
Let's check it out,
Taylor
man.
Starling. It's up here. You can see it.
Co-main event. She is
Ooh.
added to the card.
I wasn't sure if she was going to be on the card. I didn't know. I've been following like all the fans.
Yeah,
have.
the rumor mill. It's official. She's going to be the co-main event for next Thursday.
Yeah, that's important,
Make sure
too.
people understand. It's next Thursday.
Thursday. Call it like Thursday night BKFC, Thursday night fight night in Tampa. That's what we'll call it. All right, so people remember.
Thursday.
Thursday.
3 free prelims starting at 7 o'clock right here on YouTube.
It's December 9th, Thursday. I'm going to keep saying this so people get it ingrained in their mind. Matter of fact, type that in the chat. Thursday. So I'm looking forward to Taylor Starling coming back against Hannah Guy. And Hannah Guy, I mean, do you know a lot about her?
The Star Killer, man.
Right?
The Star Killer, 4-1. Do not overlook this fight.
I
This
agree.
is a fight you're going to want to.
I don't think Taylor, I'm not no disrespect to her, but she better not be overlooking this fight either because Hannah could be a problem for her. And that's why I'm more intrigued about the fight because I know a lot of people love Taylor. They love watching her. She brings good vibes when you interview her. She's awesome. But I think people are even more intrigued, not just to see her, but this is a very big test for her, I think, in my estimation.
Yeah, this is her hardest, toughest opponent to date. So this is a real trying ground for her.
Yeah, and then the Redneck's coming back. Dave Moondell's going to be there. I'm looking forward to the Redneck
My
himself.
man with the hat. He's got the cowboy hat. I love that dude, man. He's awesome.
So
Any sleeper fights on
as
the
far
card?
as far as that about, I mean, we're excited for that. Jenny Savage, Delaney Bailey, Jenny Savage, she's a tough customer. Delaney's back looking for her next win. I think this will be her second time in, and she's looking for her next win. You know, you come in hungry, look for your next one. But Jenny Savage, she's looking for redemption, and she's a tough woman.
Yeah.
And when you're looking for
No
redemption,
doubt.
in my opinion, you become even more dangerous, even if you don't know
Hungrier.
it.
Yep.
You know,
I agree.
You have a lot of other stuff on there. You can see we're looking at some of the competitors now. But how about Jordan Nash versus Noah Cutter? I mean, we've seen Noah before. That'll be great. Jordan Nash, I think is he Is this his first? I don't know if I've met Jordan before.
He fought already.
He might have fought before us one time.
He's fought for us. Yep.
19. Okay, cool.
So
Sometimes
the whole card, fully
stack card. Where's
yeah.
the sleeper fight on there? Do you see any sleeper fights?
I'm looking at Shahrir Zulfagari. He's from Iran. He tried out at in the Phoenix tryouts last October. He's got a cool backstory. If you want, go follow him on Instagram and kind of look back.
Give us the 411. Give us the cliff notes on him.
Oh, God, my
before
memory.
you do, though, say his name again so everyone can make sure they heard what it was.
I hope I'm not butchering it.
That's why I don't want to say it. I'm making you say it.
He goes by Shah, but
this guy right here.
Shahrir Zulfagari.
He's fighting Terry Janowski.
Nate, you're in the video. That's Nate.
Nate's jumping out. Matchmaker Nate Shook. Everyone loves him.
That's right.
I love Nate.
Nate
Now
Shook's in the building.
His phone's gonna start ringing. We know you're there. Answer me.
He built this card.
He did. It's this amazing card.
It's a great card.
Shah. I mean, one more thing about Shah. He's from Iran. He came. I said that. Iran.
It's like the Iron Sheik over there.
He came 8 or 9 years ago. He's based in Chicago now. He's fought in some crazy, he was saying, backyard MMA stuff. But here he is now, making his debut.
Yeah, we're excited to watch it too. And I think, Evan, I always say this about you. You have a really good mind for the fight game, and you're around it so much, filming it. And you see it a little bit differently than we do sometimes, and the fans do because you're so close to everything. So if you're talking about a sleeper fight or a sleeper fighter on the card, Evan, definitely a guy to listen to. Thank you for weighing in with that, Evan, because I wouldn't have known that. And I do enjoy the way you say Iran. Haq poof! That's for the Iron Sheik.
Iran.
Iran.
Next Thursday's card, man.
What day is it?
Thursday.
That's going to be
Thursday.
so strange, man.
I know.
Thursday. Take Friday off work. The boss won't care. Call in sick now. Start developing the
holiday
call.
season, man. No one should be working anyway.
That's right, man. Take long weekends. What are you thinking? You should be working
and listen,
Fridays.
all the fans that are tuning in right now, we really appreciate it. Those that are actually working really hard this holiday season, we appreciate you and all the hard work that you do. Thank you very much.
We truly do. I have started my Christmas shopping a little bit. Have you? No, man, you got to. They're saying stuff's not going to be on shelves. Your kids aren't going to have anything. Santa's not going to get them anything.
I went to Target this morning at 8 o'clock. The shit was full, man.
For what? What'd you go to Target for at 8 o'clock?
I was looking at kids' toys. I didn't pick anything out. Like, I got to.
Do you think that kids' toys? I noticed this. I have a daughter and a son now. Son's older. I feel like maybe it's going to be a boy. At least last time I checked. Who knows?
Okay.
It's 2021, right? Am I right? I feel like boys' toys are so much cooler than girls' toys. Like girls' toys are kind of beat. I never had to look at them until I had a daughter.
Yeah, well, I've had nieces growing up, so I always had to pick out girls' toys. So to me, it's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe we just don't get it. I don't know. Well, that's something I saw that I thought was interesting. But also interesting that it's going to be Thursday night, December 9th. See a little tie in there. BKFC Fight Night Tampa. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. I just screwed our director's ears up. So we're very excited for that. Of course, BKFC.com. Grab the app. You know the deal. $4.99 a month. That's a great price for all you're going to be getting.
Dirt cheap.
No, all right, let's address that, Rob. Let's address why Rob said that. I'm going to address. So in my mind, I just said dirt cheap, and I edited myself because fairly recently I was doing an interview on another show called Sports Grid, and I plugged the app, and I said, it's dirt cheap. And I heard the production room laugh. Well, I meant it's a great price. That's how I said it, but dirt
Sounds
cheap.
like they say they cheapens the product.
Yeah, and I felt really bad because as soon as I said it, I pulled it back in my mouth. But thanks for that, Rob.
It's a great price, man. It's a great price for the product, man.
You know what we're trying to say. I'm trying to use layman's terms here.
Yeah.
It's on the bottom of the screen. Download the app. All kinds of great content on that. Like I was talking about Lord Evan Zentor earlier. I'm not supposed to call him that anymore, but that's what he is. And I was talking to him, and he's excellent. Brandon as well. The content they put on the Ungloved series, which let's talk about that. Let's get into that while we have some time here.
Okay.
Since we're talking about BKFC.com and grabbing the app, the Ungloved series is always really, really good. This one, if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? I mean, it makes the fight even more interesting. We're following these people. We saw Lorenzo Hunt in Puerto Rico training with Elvin Brito. We saw how hard he was working, how bad he wanted Hector, what was driving him, okay? We saw that's the fight he's been trying to get. Then we saw Hector's side of things, getting a little upset about Lorenzo. It's really good watch. Then you see the drama with Luis and Dat, and that's what I want to talk about. BKFC 22. A lot of drama. I jokingly with Evan started calling it Bad Blood, like it's a tag name. This is the place with Bad Blood, because there was so much bad blood on that card. So I guess let's focus on the top three fights really quick.
Yeah,
let's start with,
where do you even want to go? Where do you want to begin with?
We'll start with the women's fight. Okay. Is she Britain Hart? Britain Beltran? Britain Hart Beltran? I call her Britain Britain Hart because that's how I know her.
Okay.
And quite frankly, I'm a businessman, and that's what the marketing material said.
Sure.
When Marcus, let's keep her as
Yeah.
Britain Hart, not confused.
I seen Britain Beltran in parentheses Hart, so people.
It's like her
understand.
pen name. Britain Hart's like
whatever,
her.
whatever she likes. She's in the running between her and Lorenzo Hunt for Fighter of the Year.
Yeah.
How?
I know.
Both 3-0. Both fought some high
competition.
class. Yeah. And it's arguably to say, who do you think was Britain's tougher opponent for 2021? Would you give it Paige Van Zandt or Pearl Gonzalez?
I'm going to say, I'm not going to say Paige because, well, there's a lot of unknowns about Paige. That's why
that was her first.
Yeah, that's why it may have been
Bare
tougher
knuckle
with her.
fight.
But I
Got
didn't
it.
see Paige. I'd like to ask Britain that. You could see Paige, as we said many times. What about the fourth round? The light switch went off, and she started to understand it a little more. So that's why I would guess it wouldn't. Not that it was an easy fight, but I don't think it was her toughest fight. I do know from talking to her that she knew what Pearl was going to do. We all kind of thought she would jab, and Britain was looking forward to that. Britain had a game plan coming in, and I would say the Britain Pearl fight was more brutal. I mean, I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah, I thought it was a great fight.
It's fun to watch.
This might go contrary to what the fans think. I had the fight Pearl Gonzalez over Britain Hart / Beltran. 3 rounds to 2 rounds. It was close.
But I don't think that's going to go against what the fans say, because when I was surveying social media, which I always do, and just I'm curious what people are saying, there were some people there saying the same thing at the arena, and not everyone, but some people said that. Some people said that on social media more than normal. I felt like this was a night of that. They were saying that about the Dat fight, and stuff like that. But let's look at the controversy, too, surrounding this. If you look at the press conference was insane. Yeah. It was absolutely insane.
Britain Hart at press conferences should be its own segment of itself, man. I thought that was like her thing that she was doing for a one-off. I think something switched in her head, and I think I know when it switched in her head.
When?
During the weigh-ins with Paige Van Zandt, when Paige came up and put her hands around her neck, I think it clicked and said, you know what? That's not going to happen again. I think I was too nice. And she just, since then, it's just been 0 to 100 nonstop.
She's also, I'd not say she didn't have confidence before this. She definitely did. But I think when a fighter, even a performer, when they find that comfort level that they never knew they had, and that confidence they never knew they had, and they're right in it, that's what I see out of Britain right now. I feel like each fight, the Paige thing, she knew she could win. She thought that in her mind. You don't go and think you're going to lose, but it really proved to her, this leveled her up, she thought. And now the Pearl fight, and every fight she's had, has kind of leveled her up a little bit.
I agree.
And I think that each fight, she has more confidence. And when you have confidence, it's a dangerous thing because sometimes you have too much of it and you don't know, but other times it can really help you out. I think that's where Britain's at right now. And I think she is a smart enough person and fighter to not let the confidence, I hope, not let that kind of overcome her. Okay. It's going to drive her. That's what I hope to see out of Britain in the coming year at BKFC.
Sure. I'm going to put you on the spot now.
I hate when you do this. Go
I only see a couple of fighters in her future. Who do you want to see her fight next? Taylor Starling is fighting next week, so I don't want to jump the gun.
Yeah, we have to see how she does.
Exactly. So I don't want to jump the gun with that. But, that could be a possible fight. You have Christine, undefeated.
See, I kind of want to see that, and I want to see how Britain fares against Christine, because I've said it before. She is, and this is no knock on anyone else in the female division. I think a lot of females would agree. She's a very feared fighter in the female division. I don't know if Britain fears her. I fear her, but she's tough. She's very tough. That's a fight that I think will be a fun fight to watch. I think the fans will really like that fight. But, I mean, are we going to see a BKFC women's tournament? I don't know. Maybe we see... That's where we put her. And how's that tournament going to stack up? And where's that going to go? There's so many questions.
Beck Rawlings is coming back too.
That could be. I'd love to see that. See that run back.
Yeah.
I mean that was tough, if you remember the teeth like backwards, and that showed me so much heart out of Britain, that fight.
And where are we at with Rachel Ostovich, man? I listen. I gave Paige Van Zandt not enough credit in her first leading up to her fight. I mean, I could not respect her any less. Like, talk about a warrior. She went all 5 rounds with
10 total. Yeah, in both fights.
5 rounds, Britain Hart. I'm like, man, she really she brought her A game, and she's gonna smoke Ostovich. I mean, it's not. This is her second fight. They always do better. And Ostovich came in, and her game plan was solid as can be. What a great fight that was.
It was a fun fight.
What's up with Ostovich? Is she coming back?
I'd love to see that too. I'd like to see her back again. I'd love to see her come back again. We got Mike Perry coming on in a couple minutes too. I want to remind you of that as we talk about the women's fights. And see, Rachel, when she fought Paige, I kind of had the same thought that you did. I figured that I didn't know she was going to smoke her, but I figured Paige is going to get this one, especially being Paige's second fight. Like we said, the light switch in the fourth round of the Britain Hart. And then Ostovich had her overhand rights, and she was really there.
She sport is doing. So unpredictable.
It really is.
I'm like, every time I think, I'm like, man, I know what's going to happen next. No idea.
Well, look, I know what's going to happen next. We're going to get back to reviewing this card, but we have a gentleman on the phone now that there's been a lot of buzz about him for so many reasons. Yeah, get ready, man. This guy, there he is. Oh, look at the kid. He's got his kid, Platinum Mike Perry. What's up, buddy?
There he is.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
So, if you're platinum, is he like
buddy?
gold? Is he silver? What's your son? Is he platinum alongside you? Does he grow up to be platinum? Where's it going to go?
This is Golden Ocean right here. That's right.
How old?
11 months.
I think I might have met him in the baby carriage when he was new, when you stopped by one of our events. I believe you were there at one of our events, and it's a pleasure. Man, good looking kid. Good for you, bro. Congratulations.
I think we had a babysitter that night, but yeah. So the first event he was at was the Triad Combat over the weekend.
Oh,
he got to come to that. I mean, he was in his mama's belly for a couple of UFC fights.
I think I met him I think it was a press conference where I met him, maybe in Florida, maybe really quick with the mama.
Okay.
And that's
when Paige Van Zandt.
The hard year we were just talking about her. Yeah.
Yep. It was a presser. Yeah, it was a presser. Yep, you're right.
Well, that's cool that he was at your fight. That's got to be emotional for your son, even though he's not going to remember this. To fight in front of him and there with him, that's probably pretty cool, right?
Yeah, my coach actually going into the 7th round was like, he brought him up. He was like, hey, man, Ocean's out there watching. He's like, you going to do this shit for him or what? Or something like that. He brought him up, and I looked at my coach, and I was like, oh, you really lit the fire now. And so it worked.
It sure did. We're going to talk about the Triad in a couple minutes, but since you're holding Ocean there, little Ocean, I have some questions for you. I mean, stuff I don't know about you from your past. You're holding your kid there. So when you were a kid growing up, talk about your life. I mean, was your father around? What was he into? Was he a fighter? How'd you get into fighting?
Yeah. Well, Dad was a fighter in a different way. He was a construction worker. He was he worked a lot, and I would go to work with him sometimes. I remember doing construction when I was like 13 or 14 years old. I would go to work with my dad in the morning, and I would work harder than some of the grown men that were working with him. You know, I was pushing wheelbarrows full of cement, and we did pouring walls. So like in Michigan, when you set up the basements, like you pin all these panels together. Some of the panels are like 120 pounds. Oof. And like, we would take them out and pin them together and make the shape of the basement. And then they pour concrete in between those panels. And you have to like walk the 10-foot wall. Wow. Sometimes I would do all that stuff when I was a kid. And my dad was just, I thought he was the craziest guy, like super mean, super aggressive. And, he fought people in the streets, you know what I mean? Street fights and stuff like that. So I just always thought my dad was real tough. He's got tons of veins that show. I'm like, dang, I know I'm strong. Why don't my veins show? So,
yeah, right.
Like,
it's got that dad strength.
Right. I still believe my dad is like tougher than me or stronger than me. And he's like 60 years old. He's just an old grumpy guy. And
isn't that funny how that works? You always believe your dad's tough no matter what age you are. Like, I mean, you're a professional fighter and you're still saying that. So as far as that, from what I've read, you've moved around a lot too. Was that because your dad was doing construction when you were younger?
No, we moved around a lot because, him and my mom separated. She came to Florida. I tried to be around my brothers and sisters. Then I would, I was a bad kid, so I would get sent back to my dad. And, it was a lot for my mom to handle, I assume. And, I totally get it.
Now you do, right? Yeah.
I totally get it. Little dude is so bad.
I know. I have one
he's so
too.
bad. And he's 11 months. He's not even a year old yet. So, but I mean, he seems chill right now. He knows like when people are paying attention. That's how you know he's sneaky, bro, because he's just being good right now. It's all up front.
So,
but
so you guys, you were in Florida, you said, right? So you're in Florida. You're trying to see your family. You're getting sent back to your father. And then, at what point were you like, when you were a kid, I want to be a fighter? Did they put you into some kind of training seminar? I know you did boxing, I believe, too.
Well, so my dad had like, oops, look at him calling me right now. This
is that your dad?
Yeah, he's calling.
I wish we could put him on. Bring him on. Let's have a face-off between you two.
Senior Bear.
He never calls my ass. His ears must be
ringing, man. That's right. That's right.
But I remember equipment in the basement. He had like this old military bag with like boxing gloves in it and like these old bag gloves, like,
oh, wow.
Like really different style of gloves. And I remember him like when I was a kid trying to show me how to throw like a 1-2. And he did like karate.
Okay.
And he always loved to do this like inverted roundhouse kick. Like when we messed around when I was older, he always liked to put his foot on people's faces. And like
it's a big move.
But I remember watching Bodog.
Okay.
And I remember Eddie Alvarez being on there.
Mm-hmm.
I was a kid. I must have been like 12 or 13. And I saw Bodog on TV. We didn't even have cable, but it was like one of the free channels. And I just remember because I was always outside playing basketball, playing football, you know, two-hand touch in the street, tackle in the grass. You wait for the guy to go on the grass so you can tackle him.
Why wait?
And yeah, you know, I was an aggressive kid, man. I rode my bike like 20 miles a day, every day.
So you needed an outlet, and they knew that, so they decided to teach you a little bit of boxing when you were younger. Where'd the kid go? What happened?
Yeah,
Where'd he go? He floated away.
Mama came home.
Bye, Ocean.
You know, bye, buddy.
So were you an aggressive kid? So you think they started doing some of the 1-2, the punching to kind of get that out of you a little bit? Were you being bullied perhaps at school? Why did he teach you? Just to teach you to defend yourself?
No, I think I wanted to like learn how to be strong like my dad. Like
that's awesome.
My kid knows already at 11 months. He like knows what I do. He gets it, man. It's so weird. Like if I take his hands and I throw punches and stuff with his hands at my face, he just laughs and he thinks it's so funny. And awesome. I posted a video before my fight where my girl's mom was like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna punch him in the face and I'm gonna get him and he's gonna go boom, like he's gonna go down." And the kid was just laughing and laughing because he gets it.
Would you want him to be a pro fighter? I mean, would you see that in his future?
That's up to him, man. If he wants to do it, I think I can help guide him where I may have made mistakes, and I think I can be there for him to support that. But I think also, you know, I mean, I think there's other routes to it. Okay. I think he's gonna, I don't know if he'll be a dog like his daddy. But you know, if we could get him some followers first, and then he can get money from his first fight, if it's a big opportunity there, because fighting is a big money business. Mm-hmm. So if there's something that he's interested in, yeah. But also, you know, teach him. I want him to learn stocks and trades and things like that. Get him a computer, have him figure out. Maybe he could do another sport at school. Like I could help guide him to actually be on the basketball team or football team.
You're just going to support him.
We're small, though. Football is going to be hard for a small guy.
Hey, man, it can be done. We see what you do. You're a tough guy. If he has that toughness as well, you know, we're going to see that. Now, you talk about some mistakes that you've made, and we have to mention them. I mean, you have a very controversial past, which we're going to unpack a little bit. I know that you have, it was years ago, but there was some burglary involved, a little bit of jail time. Do you feel that reformed you? I mean, how did you feel when you did that and then you got out? Let's talk about that.
it's unfortunate that I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
It's like, I always think of it like the video game Grand Theft Auto.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in a way, I kind of thought that I was out here like that. And you don't know about consequences until you learn what consequences are. You don't know what jail is until you actually go. And you're like, oh, wow.
Well, what is jail? Explain that to us, because I've never been to jail. Have you, Rob?
No.
So when you go to jail, most people watching this have never been to jail. Explain it in a couple sentences. How bad is it?
Well, lock yourself in the bathroom for a day. And
that'd be terrible.
Sit next to the toilet and have invite a homeless person to sleep next to you on the floor.
Oof. It's a good analogy.
Like, that's jail. And you can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. You can't eat when you're hungry. There's no freedom. You don't know until they take it from you. Even explaining it, people won't know until they have to experience it themselves. You can tell somebody a million times. That's the thing about being a dad. I want to earn respect for my son, where he'll listen to me in some situations, but you never know if they're going to listen or not.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah,
so you can only
case.
try your best, and you hope for the best and have faith in God. That's number one.
I agree. So you get through all that, you come out, and when you get out of jail, they usually give you what, $50 and a cigar, they used to say back in the day, and then you didn't get any of that, and then you end up going to get a job. From what I saw, was it at a UFC gym or something, and that's how you got into fighting again?
Yeah, well, I knew I wanted to be a pro fighter. The whole time I was in jail, I was working out. You're not supposed to work out really like that anymore. At least when I was there, we had to hide doing our push-ups and sit-ups. And I got into some, there wasn't real fights, but we got into scuffles. I got into scuffles with a couple of guys in there who were big, bad dudes. But because I walk around saying, I'm going to be a pro fighter, some older men saw me as a kid with a dream, and other men were like, it wasn't like a beef scuffle. It was like, let's test the kid out. You know what I mean? I went at it with some tough guys in there. And, I even taught some guys jiu-jitsu in there.
Wow.
A couple gang members were wanting to learn how to grapple.
Got a friend
I
up
taught some grappling, and I did a lot of pull-ups. I was in shape when I was in jail, and then when I got out, I was still on papers. I was on papers for 7 years. That was really difficult because they had to know my whole schedule at all times, and so that taught me a lot as well, to be able to do that. And then I remember it giving me this this feeling of having to watch your back at all times and make sure you're not doing anything bad, being afraid to jaywalk. You know what I mean? Wow. You're afraid to jaywalk because you don't want to go back. So you really get on your P's and Q's and really start being a good person, and not just forced. You want to be a good person because you don't want to live in jail. You don't want to be a bad, you don't want to do that. So, but, I remember, just the papers and stuff. And then I ended up getting lucky with that job. My buddy was a worker at the UFC gym. He taught classes and stuff. And then he met his girlfriend, who later was his, the mother of his son. And he left all his classes to me. And I just picked up.
That's awesome.
And just taught. And it was a good opportunity. The guy who ran the place wasn't sure at first, but he's, I'd like to say he struck a gold mine with me, because I made good impersonation on a lot of people there. I became friends with a lot of people there. I remember that gym. It was It was one of my favorite jobs for sure. It was a lot of work to be a fighter and to teach in the gym all day long. It was a good time.
Now let's shift from these positive memories after you get out of jail and you're getting your life straight and you're abiding by the laws, doing everything right. Let's shift to something I know Rob was talking about with myself off the air. Someone that you probably would go back to jail to beat up. It sounds like from what he was saying. Jake Paul. Let's talk about that, Rob. The Jake Paul thing we want to talk about with him.
Yeah, so it sounds like you guys had he leaked a video of you guys sparring. Was he doing it for clout to show that he could, be something bigger than he is? You took to social media to kind of respond to that. You obviously weren't too happy about how he put that out and kind of controlled the narrative of he beat Mike Platinum Perry. Where do you think why do you think he did that?
I honestly feel like I set him up. Because when I said what I said, I always do that. I'm a good training partner. I like Jake. I like what he's doing. And it's just a funny game where some people believe in you, some people hate on you. Mm-hmm. Some people, when they hate on you, they go hard. And everything Jake does now, it's up in the air. Some people are supporting it. Others are like, this is the worst thing that ever happened to the sport of fighting. I like what he's been able to do. I think he's got some skills. And I said that, and I saw that camera there. I was like, hey, man, he kicked my ass. For some reason, I felt like I knew that part was going to come out. And as soon as it came out, I went a little off the chain with what I said. Honestly, I feel like, it was a clout chase. And he wants the recognition of fighting a real fighter like myself,
of course, and
someone who's gritty like me, and like he wants some recognition from being able to beat on that person. I personally gave him that, like, hey, man, you did a good job. If it was fight night, it'd be a different story. It is what it is. I had later saw Jake in the club, and I was like, hey, man, I like what you're doing. And when you said, when you put out there that little message that I left for you to put out there, I kind of set that bait. I think I could try, I just put you in your place. Like, what you know what you felt. And that, it's easy to see from my last fight over the weekend. Like, you can't hurt me.
No, you're definitely, people were talking about it before, but we saw it over the weekend. You're built for bare knuckle. We're going to talk about bare knuckle and what you're going to be doing here, what you hope to be doing in a couple minutes. But let's talk about this weekend. That's first of all, aside from winning, congratulations on that nice payday, man. I saw reported $250,000. If I was you, I'd be sitting in a robe making it rain, caviar, yeah, whatever, 20,000. I'm sorry. So, what's the first thing Mike Perry does with that kind of money when he gets it in his bank account? What's the first thing he bought? You had to buy something.
Just bought. Baby mama just bought. She went to the store this morning to buy. Oh, that's a good picture. I hadn't seen that picture. She bought little baby Ocean a Christmas outfit because we're going to go see Santa Claus here in a little bit.
Awesome.
And for the first time. So, I'm trying to hold on to that money.
Smart move.
So I'm trying to keep that money, and the first thing I did, I think, really was call my tax lady.
Yep, smart.
And, get that going, talk to the team, about money that I'll be paying them. I'm trying to get everything settled in my head. Once I pay off all my debts, then we'll see what we got left. And that money that's left is to feed the family until the next event, because outside of fighting, I'm hoping Platinum Perry can do some business with some people. I do have one of the best managers in the league, or whatever league you want to call it, in the sport of fighting. I got some of the best managers, so I'm looking to, I stay humble. I'm grateful. At the same time, I still talk my shit. I know I'm tough, and I'm ready to get back in the gym, get back to training. I'm looking to fight bare knuckle early next year. And
I got to stop you. I got to stop you. I got to ask you something.
That was a good warm up.
That was a good warm-up, and everyone who saw it thought that. We were talking about that again in the office today, how you're built for bare knuckle. We knew it, but we really saw it in that fight. Now, what I would know, you're saying early in the year, I know one of our biggest event of the year, Knuckle Mania 2 is coming up at the beginning of the year, so maybe you're talking about that. From what I understand, you've signed a 3-fight deal, but I wonder, who would you want at Knuckle Mania? I got to guess, Rob and I were talking about this too, you're going to want top of the mountain, Thiago Alves, top of the mountain champion. Is that a fight you want immediately, or are you trying to get a tune-up? Because I think Yuli might be in line for that too, Yuli Diaz.
I don't think there's any tune-up in this division, man.
Yeah, you can't really do that.
I mean, I think the one you're talking about is February 5th. And, yeah, I mean, I'm looking to go right back into the gym, stay in shape. I'm prepared right now. You know, my body did its healing over the last couple of days. I'm ready to go hit some road work. And I'm motivated for the gym, for the fight opportunity. You know, whatever opportunity they want to offer me, I'll fight any guy in bare knuckle. And I think I'm the cream of the crop. I think I'm the best in the division. And if they want to offer me the gold, baby, hashtag gold for platinum, because platinum's looking for it. If they wanna you know, give me a tune-up first to try out the bare knuckle. I mean, I think the boxer that I just fought is better than any boxer in bare knuckle, but, you know, it wasn't necessarily in bare knuckle. So if they want me to get my knuckles wet first, there is a couple fights, you know. I mean, I know this guy, Julian Lane, keep talking. That'd be an easy fight for me. I beat him so badly. I respect the Marina Richmond. I like that guy. You know, he's a Marine, you know what I mean? Respect. I'd have to bust him up, and I'm sure he'd come with the heat, but it is what it is. I know what I do. And Uli is an option. They were talking about, you know, respect to Uli. He's got some records. He's got a big fight, but he already fought for the gold, you know, so maybe it's my turn. I just go in there and fight Thiago Alves. You know, that fight was scheduled in the past and it didn't happen. Maybe it's time to come to fruition.
I'd like to see that.
Whatever they want to do is what they want to do. And there's also this one guy who's a number one contender who I kind of want to fight because I got real beef in real life with him. You know, he robbed me. He stole a lot of money from me. And he got me good, man. He stole a lot of money from me. And, like, I don't know if he would show up if they offered him enough money to take the fight.
Who is it?
If he would even show up.
Is it a name we would know, like, or is it just some guy that took money from
the number one contender?
Is that what he said?
Francisco Ricci.
Oh, really?
Ooh,
I want to hear you say it. This is catching me off guard. I didn't
news.
know that.
This is news. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, Mike?
Well, Richie's a mechanic.
Okay.
And he fixed one of my cars once. He fixed my AMG. Did good work. Took him a little time, but he did it. And then I got this new car. It's a new classic car.
Nice.
And he, you know, he told me a dream. You know what I mean? He told me he's going to do this and that and this and that. He gave me back a car after I paid him this money. He gave me back the car in pieces. The car is worth 1/4 of what it was worth when I gave it to him. Plus, I gave him money to do it. He didn't buy one part. He didn't do anything. I don't know if he was out here, took the money and was smoking crack or what he was doing. But if he would even take the fight, and he just always lying. I had other people on it. My managers were on him. Business managers were talking to him. And I was nothing but nice to the dude. I was nothing but kind to the guy. I thought, you know, there was like a friendly thing there because I had worked with him in the past. We had worked, you know, sparring, training, things like that. I've talked with him in the past, and he fixed one of my cars once. But then when I did this, and this was in January, and I waited 10 I waited 10 months before I even got the car back in pieces, destroyed, terrible.
He just handed it back to you in pieces. I mean, did he say anything to you? Did he tell you to come pick it up and didn't see you? Like, what was the conversation?
You know, but I mean, bro, the conversation was always what I wanted to hear, and it was never the truth. He told me so many times, he gave me so many dates that the car was going to be finished. I bought a plane ticket to go down. He canceled on me the day before. I lost my money on the plane ticket. So then I finally get the car towed back. And that was a whole hassle. Like, you know, it was a whole hassle to get down to Fort Lauderdale and get the car towed back. And like, you know, I'll probably be taking him to court. But, you know, if he want to fight me, I get paid. He'll get some money. I take some of his money to pay me back, and I'm going to take his life.
Oh, wow. Okay, so bare knuckle courtroom brawl. We're looking. Wow. Wow. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't expect that. I was expecting 100 other names. I've dealt with him before. He's been super cool to me, but he didn't. He didn't do that to me.
Because he's a liar.
Okay.
He's a liar. He's smiling in your face. And he tried to stab you in the back.
Okay. So good. I mean, it's good we unpack that. We know how you feel about that now. We know who you're looking at in the division. Why bare knuckle for you? Do you think you're built for this sport? Like I said, we think you are. Everyone seems to think that. What does Mike Perry think about your success in bare knuckle? How it's going to come?
I think. I think the sport over the weekend, the boxing, I think that was very similar to what we'll see in bare knuckle. Little clinch game, little boxing. Of course. Even smaller gloves, no gloves, and we chose to wrap our hands how bare knuckle might wrap our hands, like a little bit of the knuckles left out, and just focusing on the wrist and things like that. I love boxing. I love throwing these hands, forgetting all that extra stuff, the kicks, the takedowns. I mean, I don't know. I'm vibing really well with my boxing coach and the team at the boxing gym. And, I look forward to it. And, bare knuckle threw some money on the table, man. Right. You know what I mean? Like, that's an easy option when we talking about fighting for survival, fighting to feed my family. It made a difference.
Of course. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you here when you do fight. And we actually had a guy on who's no longer fighting for us now named Tyler Goodjohn. You may have seen him online. When we signed him originally, everyone said that you guys could be like twin brothers. Have you seen what this guy looks like, and do you agree? We asked him the same question.
What's his name? John?
Tyler Goodjohn. He's from England.
Tyler Goodjohn.
Bare knuckle
they were saying that me and Rampage is brothers. Rampage Jackson. That's my boy.
Yeah, I see the resemblance there. I can see it. Total.
Yeah, definitely. Rampage is the GOAT, man. That's my brother.
That's awesome. Well, look, man.
I don't know the Tyler Goodjohn. There's this other guy at BKFC, some little flyweight who apparently is running his mouth. I blocked him. Somebody, I think, said he's still talking.
Brandon
little
Lambert.
Weirdo with green hair and
Malo.
a face tattoo.
Is it Malo? Brandon Lambert? Is that his name?
Yeah.
It's probably him, yeah.
Don't let me see him.
Gosh. I've heard Joe Riggs say the same thing. There's a lot of fighters that feel the same way, and it seems like Malo loves it. I'd be running like a scaredy cat, hiding from everybody. Not him. He's right out there. So
I'm going to be fighting people at the press conference for sure, or like when Bare Knuckle brings me out, there's going to be people that I'm going to see. And if they want to talk slick, if they want to look at me, I promise, like y'all are going to have all the security. I'm warning you now.
We will.
I'm not wasting no time. I'm going straight at people's throats.
Listen, with the Platinum Man here, we're going to have security. We just flashed it up on screen. You were saying people are going to look at you. This is Tyler Goodjohn, if you can see him. Do you see a resemblance there?
Okay. Yeah, the Australian kid, ain't he?
He's from England, from the UK.
England. Oh, my bad.
Come on, you have to see a little bit of it. Who looks like who? You look like him, or he looks like you? What is it? Who's better looking?
I mean, am I older?
That's what I said. I said the same thing. I don't know.
I think you guys are pretty close.
Same age almost.
He got the. I don't think we look alike, man. Didn't he fight at like 125?
No. He's got the long hair. He's got some.
Look at my beard, man.
You're better looking, you're saying. You're a heartthrob. I know what's going on. Very lucky woman that has that child with you. So thank you very much for coming on. You were great to talk to. Robert, do you have anything? I think we've talked about a lot.
Yeah, I think the only question that I don't have a question for it, but a question for yourself. What do you point to, if you could point to one thing to your rise to fame? The fans love you. You're a crowd favorite, fan favorite. What would you?
Well, I want to say, I was thinking about real quick. I appreciate you guys, asking questions to try to get to know me, who I am, where I came from, asking about my dad and stuff like that. That was cool. I know you brought up, that I have a rough past and stuff. That's it is what it is. I'm not always happy to hear those, but those are mistakes that I made that can be brought up at any time because it's there. I hope the world can see that I'm, apologetic for those mistakes. But I think it's my realness.
Agree.
I'm just as real as it gets. And I come with fire, man. I come with heat. I come with intensity. I worked hard, and you could see it in my last fight over the weekend that I wore that on my sleeve, all the hard work I did. I didn't even know how hard I went at my opponent every round. I felt like I was standing there in the fight, not doing much. But if you watch every round, I was in his face every round trying to go after him, doing my best, So I always look at my work and I'm like, I could do better. I could do better. I want more from myself. I believe in myself more. As hard as I will work, I believe I can do more. I just need more chances, more opportunities. I need more time to put in the work. And, I can't really tell you why people really relate to me, but I just wear my heart on my sleeve and I fight. I fight for the right reasons. I think I'm strong. I'm athletic. I have my family to take care of. I need some money. It is what it is. Fighters fight for this money so that we can pay our bills and do what we do. And, it's hard because you fight and then guys get online right away and they talk trash because they're trying to get what you got or trying to get the opportunity that you just have. But I just feel like that's not how it works. I don't ever go online and be like, I'm going to kill this guy because of this, because he did so good or because he had an opportunity. I want his opportunity. There's ways you could say it. There's ways you could go about it. And I don't hate on nobody. I sit around and I wait for my opportunities. I put in work. At least this last camp, I know I did. I just was kind of staying on the outside. I put in my hard work and I kept praying to God and kept asking for opportunity. I stayed on my managers. I was letting them know how confident I was. Hey, man, I'm working every day, man. I'm on it. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready. There's no doubt. That was my mantra. There's no doubt, no doubt, no doubt, zero doubt. And maybe that's what it is, bro. I have zero doubt, and I believe in myself wholeheartedly.
Well, I think that's a great answer, and I think that is. Again, you said it. You're very real, and we're very excited to see you here. And I want to give you one more compliment before we let you go. Random people, not a ton, but when they found out I was interviewing you, we were talking to you today, Rob and I, they had said to me, "Oh, Mike Perry, be ready for him. You don't know what he's going to say. You don't know what he's going to do. You don't know how he's going to show up." All this stuff they were saying, it was kind of angering me because I didn't know you. We've never officially met. We met quickly when I saw you at the press conference. You seem like a nice enough guy. But when people said that, I'm like, I'm not even caring what you're saying. And I'm glad I didn't do that because oftentimes I find when I talk to people, I have a completely different view on it. And I didn't know too much of you. I'm excited to meet you today. And I think you're a jam-up guy. I think you're awesome. And I appreciate you coming on. And it was a joy going through your family. And hopefully we can do a deep cuts with you and learn more about your story. You have a very interesting story.
Absolutely.
And it was great to have you on here. I can't wait to watch you fight again.
It's a Hollywood story right here.
Really, man. You could be a Netflix docuseries there. You're welcome.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate the support. You guys were a breath of fresh air. Very nice.
Wow, that never gets said about us. That never gets said about us. Thank you so much for saying that.
We appreciate it on this end, very much so.
Thank you, brother.
Take care, sir.
Salute. I look forward to fighting Bare Knuckle and putting on a show for the fans and, busting up my opponents, whoever they might be. Respect at the same time, but we do what we do, baby. It's Bare Knuckle.
The kid's excited too. We can't wait for it. Hey, we'll see you soon. Platinum Mike Perry. That's my man. That was awesome.
Guys,
Take care, buddy.
All right, Rob, help me out with the clap here. Platinum Mike Perry.
Sorry,
sounds
man.
better. Yeah, I was blown away. I thought that was going to be a short interview. I thought he was going to be out of hand. I liked learning about his life.
I did not know what to expect, and I'm not kidding when I say that. He has millions and millions and millions. He has a story. Someone from Hollywood needs to contact this guy.
And we didn't even touch on, that's why I said I want to do what's called a deep cuts with him, because there's so much we didn't touch on. Violation of probation, all this stuff that happened would seem to me, he didn't talk a lot about it, but his moving, it sounds like, from everything I've read and interviews I've seen with him before, it sounds like his moving around and everything and just the craziness of his life from the get-go. He talked about his father and everything. It seems like that continues on with his life. But it looks like to me, maybe I'm a fool. I don't think I am, but not when it comes to this. But it seems like we talked about redemption earlier. He's looking for redemption. He's trying to get his life straight. He learned his lesson in jail. At least this is all what he's saying. He looks sober to me there. He looked like there was no problems there to me. So I'm excited to see him on the roster and see what he can do. And, we'll see where it goes.
Story, man.
It's a great story.
Face down in the gutter in jail to now making the big bucks. Seems happy. Family man.
Yeah, his kid there, Ocean. That was great stuff. So I guess let's take a quick break and reset, and then we'll recap. We'll finish recapping the drama from BKFC 22. I know there's some stuff we haven't even touched on yet, man.
Can't wait.
This new format of the show go a little longer, more stuff to talk about. I dig it,
man.
Listen, you stay right there, chat amongst yourself in the comments, and we have so much more to talk about. We'll see you again in a second after this.
BKFC Fight Night Tampa, Thursday, December 9th, only on the Bare Knuckle TV app. Download it at bkfc.com.
My gentlemen, to the line. Buckle up. It's time to knuckle up. The big shot for now. He goes down. Peralta lands and the counter shot. Down goes Stevenson. The right hand, and down goes Julian Wade. Game, set, match. It's the half block. That's it. He's out. Velasquez down again. Just like that, he is finished. The win for Dat Nguyen.
Wow. Platinum Mike Perry. What a great interview. If you missed it,
That was awesome, man.
Maybe you jumped off for a second. I have to also add that you can listen to us if you're driving and you don't want to watch us and crash. You see our ugly faces. Spotify, the BKFC show, hit us on there and give us a listen. Also, Rob was saying there's all these people in the comments section excited we're back. Rob, I want to say something. People think I don't like you sometimes.
Okay, you broke my neck, but
I don't love you. I'm kidding. I like you. That's why if you were on YouTube, I'd hit the like button.
there you go. Smash that like button. Give us a thumbs up.
Give us likes.
If not for us,
For
do
yourselves.
it for Mike Perry.
Yeah, Mike Perry for yourselves, because it helps the product when we make more, views and stuff. More people find out, which means we can make more money, which means we put on better shows.
Exactly. The
That's
more
why we got
thumbs up,
this. From the
more
thumbs up.
thumbs up,
The more thumbs up, the new products we get on the walls.
the more ramen I can eat. I can go from one ramen to 2 ramen in an afternoon. So help us out.
You can do the jailhouse meal. What's it called? Chi-Chi's, where you put. How do I know that? You put the
Dude, you've
meat
definitely
and-
been behind bars. You keep saying you haven't. This guy's done more time than a little bit.
I may have. Okay, so a lot to talk about here. Other than you hitting the like button, we appreciate that because again, it helps algorithms. Let's talk about BKFC 22 because Mike Perry called in and we kind of got off that. We finished up talking about Britain and Pearl. Let's talk about Dat Nguyen versus Luis Palomino. That's another one. Let's start with the presser. Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Press conferences, they're going back and forth. Sometimes Dat interests me because I feel like he's really talking trash, but then other times I feel like he just knows he's trying to put on a show, and he kind of goes too far and says, screw it, let's go.
Yeah,
and
here's the line, and here's where he stepped over.
And he doesn't think about going back. He just keeps going forward no matter what. How do you think he stepped over? And how Luis thinks he stepped over?
Well, I'm going to have to side with Luis on this one. He went deep into his family. I think he called out his wife, his girlfriend.
He said you come from a long line of bitches or something. That might not be the right quote. And then he's
kind of paraphrasing.
It was something about bitches in his household or in his family.
Bitches must run in your family.
That's it. See, Evan knows everything.
You brought
Bitches
your
must run in your family.
into it. A lot of people are.
There's a line.
You get it, right? Me and you are fighting. There's a fight. We're scheduled. Don't bring the family into it,
No,
man. Once you
don't.
bring the family, that's
It becomes bad. We've seen that happen before. So there's definitely there. And I think Luis was like, look, I'm dealing with coming back from COVID. And if you see the side-by-side pictures, it was insane how much weight he lost and everything.
I know.
He had said to me he wouldn't tell me the percentage. He might have said this on the broadcast. But he said that he said a percentage enough to beat that bum, I believe he said, or something like that.
His post-fight, I want to say his post-fight interview, he said how bad he was, and it was pretty bad.
I believe
it wasn't
it.
his best performance.
I mean, he was in a hospital bed with IV. He told me he had like finally get himself out of the hospital.
Yeah.
But let's not take any credit away from Dat. What a fight. I mean,
at all.
Dat stood up there. Dat tried his best. I actually really enjoyed watching the fight. Action-packed.
I was a doubter. I said, this is a stupid fight. When I heard
20
this fight,
pounds.
When I heard this fight, I was like, this is so dumb. I went with the Bedford route. He wants to fight, the heavyweight champ. It just sounds ridiculous. He's stepping up 2 weight classes to fight Palomino. I'm like, he's going to get literally, like, this guy's going to get his head
he's going to get eviscerated.
Off.
Yeah,
it's going to be a terrible fight, one-sided. And after the first round, I'm like this.
Whoa.
We might have the biggest upset, in BKFC history.
I kind of thought that too. I also wanted to see if he would sustain from the first round. And while it was a great fight and I enjoyed it, and I think that came to fight, a lot of respect going up 20 pounds. I think once the second round came, we started to see a little bit of a difference there. A lot of people arguing that may have won that fight. I know we had Tyler Goodjohn earlier. If you missed it, he talked about it. He didn't see Dat winning, even after he watched it late, the fight, and saw everybody complaining about it. I believe you had Luis winning as well, right?
I did. I had Dat first round, hands down. I think one of the Florida judges scored it, a blowout for Palomino. I didn't view it that at all.
I don't view it a blowout either, but I think that he did take it.
It was very, very, again, so surprisingly competitive from Dat's behalf, and I thought it was both fighters. So Dat came in, his game plan was he just pressed, and I was very surprised to see that. I think Palomino corrected him. Maybe the second or third round, he landed a vicious uppercut.
Yeah.
And I think that's what turned the fight.
That's the slow-mo one I saw on Instagram. That was sick.
Yeah. So he nailed him with that shot, and Palomino,
that uppercut?
Yeah, sick.
Uppercut was awesome.
You're welcome.
Oh, Evan caught that. I thought the Lord himself. I thought he caught
Evan
that.
throw the punch?
I was waiting. Basically, I was waiting for Evan to weigh in on that. I'm glad you weighed in, Evan.
Masterclass performance by Dat.
Yeah.
Even better performance by Luis for seeing how the fight was going. I think he switched gears. He changed it. He's a champ for a reason, and he's still the champ for a reason.
He is. He's a bad dude, man, and I'm looking forward to his next fight. And I want to see what Dat's going to be up to. I think Dat wants that back. I don't think it's happening again.
What, dude? Come on.
I'm a fan of Dat.
Fans, please help me out. Let's rally behind this. Bedford versus Dat. Please, I want to see that run back so bad. That was such a great fight. I want to see it again.
That would be fun to watch. I agree.
Can't be the only one.
Let's. I doubt they're probably going to go nuts in the comments about it.
Yeah.
Let's look into the main event now. I mean, I actually don't want to go past Luis Palomino. Awesome entrance. I love the theatrical entrances. He had all Dat because does the Mortal Kombat. What's he, Raiden? I don't remember with the hat and the the Mortal Kombat entrance. Very cool. Enjoy seeing that. Then you shift to the main event. You have Hector has like a rapper with him, and that was really cool. And then you see Lorenzo Hunt walking out, and it's raining money. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I don't know if you saw it on TV. I'm sitting there thinking that's not real money. It's not. No way. Then I look, I'm like, that's real money. I'm like, well, maybe it's counterfeit. I don't think he would do that. It's kind of crazy, but I picked one up. It was real money. So I made about $20 in that entrance because I kept stuffing in my pocket. And then I would give all the money to the fans who was at ringside. I would throw money out to them. So I thought it was a cool entrance. But if we look at before that, leading up to the fight, you talk about chaotic scenes. That press conference, nuts. When I got there and I saw that Lorenzo was not at the press conference, I kind of smelled a rat. I'm like, Lorenzo's not going to miss this. But I thought, I don't think he's going to be crazy enough to like walk in late or anything. He might get fined for that. So I was interested. And then all of a sudden, we all saw what happened. Here he comes. putting a scene on, yelling, "It's my title." A table gets flipped. Hector's getting held back. It was chaos.
Yeah.
It was chaos. And I think a lot of people go, "Well, that's WWE stuff." No, this was real heat, real bad blood. These two did not like each other.
Yeah, it didn't start then.
No,
it started from him
months
jumping
earlier.
into the ring. And I think, it started obviously before that, of him hopping into the ring during his, Hector versus Riggs fight.
Yeah.
And Hector just being natural. You get in my face. I just fought a guy. Your adrenaline still pumped. This guy's getting in my face. He did what he felt was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
He socked him in the face twice. And I thought, you know what? He took, him being Lorenzo Hunt, he took a shot, meaning he tried to get his little moment of fame. He hopped in the ring. He got served. He got two-pieced, right? And then that's it. And then he comes, snatches the belt, and starts beating it on the ground. I was like, this is kind of cringe. I'm not gonna lie, like that's a little cringe.
Cringy AF. Cringy AF. People.
I was like,
I enjoyed it.
That's a little cringe, and he kept it up even in the walkout, which resulted in him getting fined.
Yeah, you got fined. Was it 25%?
25% of his purse for those antics.
Did you see Senior jump up and he was
Evan, hold on.
And I was about to. I was gonna.
Did they show that on TV?
Like, listen, it's good to have some animosity. It's good to sell the fight, but when it gets, it just becomes more. It becomes
real.
theatrics.
It wasn't theatrics. It was real.
I
He
know.
really felt that. That's why you can't fold him for that. I mean, he's a professional fighter. People could say he should have kept himself in check. He couldn't. And I don't think Hector could either, as we saw. But Evan just mentioned that. I don't know if they showed it in the broadcast, but being there live, Dave Feldman got up when he was. I know that bothered him smashing that belt on the ground. It bothered me too.
Yeah.
It's a little, he probably sees as disrespectful, I would guess.
Hold on.
very.
I was right there when he was smashing that belt. And the pieces were flying off. It
I
was
have
like
the B.
shrapnel. It was like grenades flying off. I
think I have the B.
ducking around. Here, hold on. We're going to show in a second.
Yeah, you don't want a
find it.
lawsuit if it hits somebody or something. So you see the president
Shout
run
out
there.
to Evan's beard too, man.
It's growing. It's growing.
I think it's legit,
He's
man.
ready.
I look like Xerxes.
But you saw Dave jump up there, and that's the president of the company, who we always say is a fan of the product.
Mm-hmm.
He's up there, and he looked pissed. Are they going to show it? There's the money.
Look at him.
Watch, there's Dave. Look, there's a $1 bill on my arm there.
I would have put that in my pocket. You're better than I am.
Well, it was coming off strippers, so I didn't want to keep it.
I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Evan, you get a $1 menu
wanna
meal
get
from
pink eye.
McDonald's. Yeah, pink eye, pink something. Evan still got the $1.
Yeah, I gave it to somebody in the
great.
crowd as a souvenir.
Look
Yeah.
how that was nice of you.
There
Evan.
you go.
Look
For
how
$1.
he's ready. He's ready for war, man. Going
Yeah, that
into
was a
this.
great fight.
I mean, this has been a fight that he has wanted, and he got it, and he provided. And I must say that on Instagram, if you look back, I'm actually going to make a post about this. I haven't spoken with Lorenzo. Congratulations to him. I know how hard he fought. It was a great fight to watch. But what an honor for me it was as just a dumb broadcaster that when he came walking to the back, right when he got in the back, one of the first things he said was, "I told you I could do it, Soch." I never doubted anybody. But for him to think that and bring my name right into that was an honor. So, yes, you did do it. Congratulations, Lorenzo Hunt, man. It's awesome that you did it. Congratulations.
How did you score that fight?
I'm not good with scoring. Now. I can't get into all that. Oh, because
I'll give you my opinion.
Give me your score.
I'll give you my unofficial opinion on it. Is I did have Lorenzo Hunt winning the fight, but I think during the latter rounds he was slowing down.
Okay.
Hector Lombard found another gear. I think if it went another round or two, I think that was
Different
Hector's
story?
fight. Yeah. I think that was Hector's fight. I think Lorenzo came in trying for the knockout, as did, there was some bad blood there. They were both looking for the early knockout.
Oh, yeah.
But conditioning-wise, I think Hector Lombard showed superior conditioning at the end of the fight. He looked the fresher of the two fighters.
Well, Lorenzo Hunt did say, I saw this on his Instagram, it was after the fight. I don't know what this coded means, but he said that it was all part of his plan. He did not knock him out on purpose. He said he didn't. And he said it's all part of his plan that's going to unfold, whatever that means. I guess because he didn't want to scare him or something. He said, or he didn't want.
come on, man.
I know that's a fighter. It's fighter speak.
That's bullshit.
I'm just putting out there as a reporter, I'm putting out there what I saw Lorenzo said. And I thought, does that mean he's going to try to go after
If I was a fighter, you think I'm holding back because I want? No,
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying what he said. But listen, I'm
That's
being
nonsense,
a
Brian.
sleuth
Come
here.
on.
Let me be a detective. I think what he meant was wow. Oof. I think what he meant was that maybe part of his plan. Why would he say that? Does he want to go after the 205 belt as well? Is that his next thing he wants to conquer? Let's talk about that. There was some controversy there.
There we go.
Let's talk about.
There we go.
Yeah, this is a lot.
Let me
I wrote this
get
down.
a little tall a little bit really
get
fast.
comfortable.
Because I'm the unsilent majority for the fans.
There you
They
go,
want to know
Paulie.
what is going on.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Well, I actually wrote this down because this is important. I saw a lot of this as we watched the ending or part of the fight here. I don't know what round we're in. I can't see on my glasses on, but we're watching some of the fight here. So let's talk about this. There's a mass confusion, myself included a little bit, at what was going on. Everyone thought, was this a cruiserweight fight? Is this a 185 fight? What is it? And I understand that confusion. So what we decided to do, I even made notes here. We're going to go through and we're going to talk about the divisions.
Okay.
And we'll get
So
to
get to
Lorenzo.
that.
We'll clear
Got
the air.
it.
But let's just start. 135 champion. Right now, if you don't know, is Johnny Bedford. And if you remember correctly, we talked about this earlier. Dat was released at one point. What we found out earlier today, I didn't realize he was asking for money
He
or
was
something.
released
Somebody
and
said.
the belt was vacated.
And it was vacated.
Got
And then the Reggie rematch with Johnny. And then Johnny got that title back. So Johnny is the 135 champion right now. 145 vacant. What's going on there? Do you know?
At the moment, I heard from a little bird,
Little birdie.
chirping,
Chirp, chirp.
that is on the next cusp for a tournament.
We need one.
For a tournament. I think the last great tournament was the heavyweight, and there was a lot of energy put into that, and some of these vacated divisions, I'd love to see that because there's some hungry people out there.
They all want the gold. You know, it's just
Absolutely.
sitting there for the taking. Think about the competition. So that's vacant right now. 145. You're keeping track. Let's go to 155. We just talked about him. We've been talking about a lot this show. I call him the bare knuckle baboon. Luis Palomino. He's saying he's pound for pound the best bare knuckle fighter in the world. I think he's up there,
Can you
if
argue
not
that?
number one. You
Can
can't.
you
No, you
can't
can't
argue
argue.
that.
You can't argue that at all. And I enjoy watching him fight. I'm excited. He's a 155-pound champion. Is anybody going to dethrone him?
That pool is deep, man. We talked about it earlier.
Very deep.
Next Thursday, one of those two guys that wins that fight is fighting him.
What day?
Either it's Martin Brown, Bobby Taylor, next Thursday, 7 p.m. on the BKTV app. Download it today, $4.99.
BKFC.com. Good plug there. Again, that's Thursday. We want you to remember that. Thursday. I would drink while I watch it, then I'd come in and curse my boss out the next day. Of course, get an Uber in because you don't want to drive drunk. That's just what I would do. Or just don't show up to work.
I'm going to hold off on really fast before we move to the next weight division.
You're in Luis.
How deep that is.
It's
Chad
insane.
Mendez is going to be 155, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Again, you're talking multiple fighters already in BKFC, undefeated. I believe also on that sleeper list, Keemon Evans.
Yeah, man, that guy, and he's a warrior. I mean, we've seen a lot
guy,
from him. Was
man,
he knockout
talk
of the year
about
last year?
Sleeper fight.
No.
That guy is amazing.
Oh, Keemon.
dude.
I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
misunderstood you. Keemon. No, Keemon. Yeah, that's even
taller, length, power. Man, that guy's spectacular. I can't wait to see him fight another undefeated fighter.
Yeah.
That pool is so deep in that division.
But here's the
man.
thing with Luis Palomino: the pool can be deep as the deep blue sea, and this guy, I don't know who's going to beat Luis Palomino. I mean, he's a warrior, and you see it in his face. I'll share a backstage secret with you. A little thing that happened backstage at BKFC in Miami, 22. We had to get Luis on for an interview before we went to the squared circle. I know people love when I call it that.
It's not a square, it's not a circle. That's my interpretation.
Directed to Rob, not me.
Yeah. Bring the heat, man.
So-
Let me educate you on a squared circle.
So my Tiger's running out. So before I forget what I'm talking about here, Luis Palomino. What was I talking about? See, you took me off.
No, you were doing a backstage interview.
Oh, backstage interview. Thank you. So Luis Palomino is getting ready to go out. And, I like talking to the guys, and they tell me, the production department, they say, okay, you're going to have an interview at this time. They set it up, and then he comes in. But this was moments before he headed to the ring, to the squared circle. So, I mean, it's cool to get that exclusive and that scoop. But, I understand. These guys are in a fighter mindset. I must say that this time, he was very easy to deal with last time, and he's always easy to deal with. But last time, he had another killer look in his eye. They'd almost made me nervous to stand next to him when he fought Jim Ellers in Miami. Now, this time, he's still the killer look in his eye. This guy's warming up as Mystic Zach's doing gambling predictions, literally warming up. He wasn't even in his locker room, waiting to come on and do the interview with us. And that's professional of him, and he just popped on, did the interview. But I thought that was interesting that this guy, giving his time as he's walking to the ring, I mean, it's probably contractual, but he could have refused that, and he didn't. And I think it speaks a lot.
He's a consummate
Professional. In the ring, you like watching him fight, and he likes putting on a show for the fans. And I feel like that's all we can ask. And I'm proud he's our champion.
One thing you spoke to Tyler Goodjohn about that is how much props Palomino gave Goodjohn, and he didn't have to. There were some really
he's a good
bad
guy.
beef. He could have taken his win, given his acceptance speech and victory speech or whatever, and rode off into the sunset. But he really gave him a lot of credit for everything he went through, and that is really telling of a true champion.
Just a good man too, a true champion, a good man. And even this fight, he took a lot of his post-fight speech and dedicated to I believe the kid had cancer. I couldn't hear because I was there live. What a wonderful thing to do. Props to you, Palomino. That's awesome. That's incredible.
Yep.
We're proud to have you as a champion. Let's move on to 165. Vacant.
Another vacant, hopefully tournament.
Oh yeah,
tournament soon,
you would hope.
please.
175. Thiago Alves.
Champ, man.
Now that belt is actually
Breaking now, we have a response. Francesco Ricci has officially
Hold on,
responded.
let's set this up. So if you're just tuning in, send the contract. So Platinum Mike Perry is upset because he
made
mentions
some pretty
out of the
serious
blue.
allegations
Yeah.
about
We're not saying they're
Francisco
true or not.
Ricci owing him money for
A car repair or something.
Car repair,
and
and took
he
money
returned
from
his
him.
car in pieces. He said so. He brought this up. I'm going to read this to you in a second. What it says on the screen, but Platinum Mike Perry brought that up and said that's a fight he wants for personal reasons. And look at Francisco got there really quick, and he said, "Send the contract, buddy." And he has a piece from the BKFC show that we did here. So that's a fight that why not?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Where's Nate?
Let's do
Matchmaker.
it. Yeah, get
I'll
the
watch that.
matchmaker. He wandered in here. Tell him to wander back in here, man.
Yeah.
Let's get him on the phone.
He runs away when we have a
We got
question
two
for him.
people that want to fight with some
run upstairs
legit.
and grab Nate.
No, I don't. I don't know if he's even here. I don't think Nate's going to come on to talk about it. But I would.
That's some legit.
What do you think? That's right. I mean, that quick.
Let's make it, man. We made it. This
Straight
is how
up.
fights get made.
Straight up, man.
On the show. Let's do it.
And props to the breaking news sound effect too. That was I didn't even. I was like all excited.
Yeah,
Something's
I
happening.
know.
Well, we'll follow that as the Platinum Mike Perry turns. Like I said, we'll follow that. So let's see. We're talking right now about Thiago Alves. I think it's very interesting. 175-pound champion. I mean, another class act. Love working with him. Thiago, he was out with an injury, but his title, I
Pretty
think.
significant injury, mind you.
Oh no, we'll talk about that. But I got to put the title over first.
Sure.
It's actually sitting. What an honor at an ATT, American Top Team.
it
In
should.
there next to all the other major belts. That tells you how far we've come as an organization. And I know that meant a lot to Thiago as well, bringing a title to where he trains. I mean, he's been trying to do that for years, and now he has it. So it's very cool. We're excited it's there as well. So
yeah, man, his last performance, what a war, dude. Gets knocked down.
I like watching Thiago.
I was like, wow, Yuli's gonna win this.
Yeah, me too.
He is gonna win
I
this.
thought that too.
He pulled himself up off the canvas, blood just coming down. I'm like, man, and knocks him down next. I'm like, oh my God, you cannot script this, man.
No,
this
it's
is
awesome. The
amazing.
movie.
Yeah, unbelievable.
it was incredible.
Expect the unexpected with
now-
BKFC, man.
I agree, and you're always going to be entertained. But he went down due to injury. We should speak on the injury. It was something I believe to do with his hand. I don't know what the exact terminology is, but I saw it online. He was talking about. So is he healed up now? I mean, I think he's pretty good.
From my understanding of what I read, what I saw is he now has a metal plate in his hand. So
Where at? Do you know?
I do not. I don't know if it's
It's his knuckle, I
underneath.
think.
It's on his knuckle. So that is something to really think about as to how that would make sense moving
How
forward.
it would literally impact. We have to see.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see that too.
I'm not
Okay.
a doctor.
I'm not either,
I'm
man.
not
All
Joe
I know
Rogan.
is that I watch
Big shout out to Joe Rogan. He loves the show.
this guy. I mean, I know you love Joe Rogan, but if you knew how much Rob loves Joe Rogan, it's unbelievable.
He's the man.
I'm not saying he's not the man. I'm just saying you love him.
I love
You
Joe
love
Rogan.
you,
He's
you
awesome.
love Joe Rogan like I used to love Hulk Hogan when I was a kid. So listen, speaking of, I can tell you that in the WWF when I was a child, Lex Luger had a forearm plate.
I remember that.
He would illegally knock people out with
that
it.
was his new finishing move. He would run up from the turnbuckle and just knock people out for 20 minutes
So
at a time.
that's all I can speak to a plate, but that's pro wrestling,
Yeah, that's
so
all I
completely
know as
different.
well.
Tiago, we hope you're well. We can't wait
Yeah.
to see you fight again soon.
but for a speedy
Again,
recovery.
class act,
Yep.
great fighter, gentleman. Love Tiago, one of my favorite fighters to do business with.
Dude's a stud, man.
Now we move on. 185, we talked about this. He's been fighting for a title. He's probably the best pure athlete in BKFC. Of course, the juggernaut himself, Lorenzo Hunt. And that guy, he fought hard for that title. And he
So let's
talk about it.
Let's explain now. So I was under the understanding that it was for Hector's belt.
Lorenzo
right?
Hunt versus Hector, yes, for the cruiserweight title, you thought.
I thought it was for that belt, but apparently it was a catch weight for this vacant belt that now Lorenzo Hunt holds. That's correct.
So what's the deal? I mean, why were people confused? I mean, do we have to kind of communicate that better in the future?
Yeah, I think that definitely needs to be flushed out a little bit better, because you had a lot of people like, wait, what belt is it for? Then you hear what the weigh-ins are. Listen, I'm glad that there's a champion in that division.
Right.
It's, a deserving champion for that matter as
Exactly.
well. But I think BKFC needs to do a little bit better job, communicating that and getting the message out a little bit clearer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that too, when we're pushing stuff out like that, what people don't always realize business-wise, to peel the curtain back a little bit, you have all kinds of departments. You have a printing department, you have a marketing department, graphic design department. And that's just like off the top of my head. So what happens is they all come together, and sometimes maybe there's a misstep, maybe something's printed wrong, maybe there's a wrong graphic. And as an organization grows, you're going to see less and less of that. Hopefully not again.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be growing pains for sure, and I get it. Like, it's a new organization.
Yeah, but that's the cool part of being a fan. It's a new organization, so you're in on the ground.
Yeah,
That's what I like about it.
Where do the fighters land in their weight classes? I'd like to see that a little bit more, of a fighter sticking in a certain weight class.
I agree 100%.
But, then you look at some of these fighters that can fight in multiple weight classes. So that's an exciting...
And if we can, why limit them? If they want to be the bare knuckle king, why limit them? You know what I mean? Let's move on. 205, as you know, Hector Lombard still stands tall at 205 and still a very feared individual. And what a fight that was, that main event we just saw. And of course, the new heavyweight champion for BKFC and the first ever BKFC champion for BKFC.
Yeah.
Arnold Adams, Boumaye, the boogeyman. You say his name, they run scared. He just
What's next for him?
I don't know.
What is next for him?
You know what I would like to see?
The champ.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see. A lot of people say a lot of different things. I saw what happened with Shoemaker and Burns. I know Burns had a little misstep with Frank Tate. People would call it that. I don't. Frank Tate's a very tough guy. I mean, that I don't see that as a misstep at all. I just think that people thought
Frank Tate showed him what them Southern hands
sometimes,
can do, man.
but sometimes,
that dude's
look,
monster.
Sometimes it's not always your
Monster.
night. He is a monster. His hands. You talk about big hands. I would never. I said that earlier about Frank Mir. Frank Tate. Never get hit by him.
Scary strength and as quiet as a mouse.
Yeah, silent.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, that's the one you have to worry about.
So
the one that does not speak, comes in like Ivan Drago and just lays the hammer down.
And you look at all of Josh Burns' performances. They've been pretty stellar. I mean, Frank Tate wasn't his night, as Josh had said. He's admitted that. He's given respect to Frank Tate. Frank Tate has fought. Josh Burns has fought some really good competitors, and he's made short work of some. And
Sure has.
So I feel like that guy would be a guy I'd want to see go against Arnold Adams. And I know the memes. I've been seeing the memes on Instagram and stuff. And Josh has some really good memes.
Am I mistaken to say this? And maybe I should know this. Has Sam Shoemaker, obviously been knocked out in that fight? Has he ever been knocked down in a BKFC fight?
I bet you.
Yes, he has.
I think he has.
Okay,
but not a ton
against Arnold Adams.
Yep.
In BKFC 3.
Okay. Yep.
When Arnold Adams, that wasn't for the title. Yeah,
no, it was. That was the title
I
bout.
remember
Yeah.
seeing Shoemaker
He hit him with an uppercut.
Falling all over.
Yeah.
Uppercut, and it was it was in the 5th round. Uppercut, fell back, and that's all she wrote.
Well,
That was it. He got back up, but
yeah, always. But to talk about the Sam Shoemaker thing further, I mean, that ended pretty quickly, and I would think that would put him in line. I mean, that's kind of, to me, that's the make good from Frank Tate, where they think that he lost and he shouldn't be, if someone says that. And you look at his record. Josh is a great fighter, and I really want to see that fight. I think it would be a great fight. What do you think?
Well, you got Beltran is saying he wants an immediate rematch.
Oh, he does? Okay.
Because he's defended the belt. I'm so split with that. And I'll tell you why. He defended the belt successfully multiple times. You can't take that away from him.
Not at all.
But he's lost now twice to Arnold Adams.
Yeah.
So that's like, well, which way do you go with that?
Are you talking about marketing wise or just in general? Because
making the next fight. Who is deserving for the next fight for Arnold Adams? I don't think it is, because he's already lost twice. Now, if he comes back and he beats, a Josh Burns convincingly or a Frank Tate convincingly, or you got Dylan Kleckler that's undefeated.
Kleckler's undefeated.
It's a deep division, man.
It's very deep. It's very, very deep. And,
that's what she said.
Oh, jeez, Rob. That's Rob's joke.
Kid show.
Got him.
Yeah, that's it, man. We're going to be kicked off the internet, YouTube, Spotify, where you can find us at BKFC Show.
That's why I love this show. We could have some fun with it.
A lot of fun. I love you, Rob. You make me laugh. So,
figure out what fight makes sense for heavyweight.
What fight do you think, Evan?
It's tough.
It is tough. I see Joey definitely has every reason in the world to get the immediate rematch.
Of course.
But something that interests me is I like Josh Burns versus Beltran, winner for the belt.
I like that.
Because then, the people we get to
Title
see
eliminator.
We get to see something different. I'm cool with that. I've seen Mick Terrell and Joey going at it online. Don't know where we're at with that.
I saw it too. Yeah.
So there's some interesting fights for sure.
It's interesting to me because, like we were saying, Evan, it can go any which way. There's so many different things. But I just went with, for me, the way I react to questions like that is the first name that pops in my head. And it was Josh, because I don't know if it's because of the creative memes with Arnold Adams he's doing online, and I've been seeing them. He's really in my mind. But he was the first person to pop in my head. But I could see everything you're saying there, Evan. I don't think any of those are bad ideas.
You can't take his performance away. He knocked out Shoemaker. No one else has done that.
It's crazy.
And that's big.
And that's a way to, that's not downing Sam either. Josh is a tough guy. And for Sam to have gone that, Sam's been with us since, I think, BKFC 1, right?
Very, very
Now think
first.
about that.
Very first.
I wonder if he's the guy that's gone the longest with the most fights without being knocked out. I'd like to look at that, who that would be. It might be
Reggie
Shoemaker.
Barnett Jr.
Oh, Reggie, yeah.
He's been knocked out. Bedford hasn't been knocked out either.
Yeah.
And they were both at BKFC 1.
I'm sorry. I was talking.
Heavyweight
division. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I said
gotcha.
it wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Where does that leave Kleckler also? He's
I know.
up there.
No,
That's why I said
Kleckler. He said Kleckler. He's undefeated.
He's in the mix as well.
But Kleckler, when you look at the division, he's a big, imposing, tough guy. I wouldn't want to fight him like everybody. I always say that. But let's look at some of the guys who he's beaten. And if you compare that's another way I look at things. Compare who he's beaten, compare who Josh has beaten, compare where they're at in the rankings, all that stuff. Now that we finally have rankings, right?
Yeah.
So that's all interesting to look at. And I'm excited to see how it's going to unfold. And I think people in the chat would concur. Let's see what happens here. This is a very exciting year we're headed into of growth, of great bouts throughout every division, including the heavyweight division. So we're going to see where it goes. Let's talk a little bit about the women's division really quick. What's going on there? Now, we've been promised these tournaments that I haven't seen happen yet. It's vacant right now. We've never had a BKFC. We have a Police Gazette, but we've never had a BKFC company champion. And I think we need one, and I think we need a tournament.
We need one now.
Yeah.
Right? We
Yesterday.
need one now. Exactly. So we had 2 Police Gazette female champions. First being Beck Rawlings, undefeated. She moved on to MMA. Then we had Helen Peralta, who was then the champion. She moved on. And now it's basically a vacant division without a true. And again, we have not had a women's BKFC
company champion,
crowned champion, and we need that. We need that now.
I know there's so many women that could be vying for that. You know how much fun that tournament would be? I love watching all the fights, but we've said it before. I think Paige, there's been other women that have said it too. Paige might have said it too. Women fight with this. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just different. They fight with a different kind of passion sometimes, I feel like, when I watch them. And
I'm adjusting my seat because I'm going to say something that's going to piss off a whole lot of people.
I agree with you, Rob. Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
All right. So women's fights in BKFC are better than any combat sport.
I agree.
I think the difference in level of competitiveness. So women fighting in MMA versus men fighting in MMA. I think the way people view that is, wow, the men are more technical, they're more exciting fights, this, that, and the third. Same thing with boxing. They'll watch it, but it's not as exciting as men's. I cannot say that about the women's division and the men's division. I can say it right now that the women's division might actually be better. They're on the same spectrum. And I think this is one of the first times that people could probably
100%.
agree with me on that exciting fights. The women's division is sometimes, it's always as exciting as the men's.
I agree.
And sometimes even more exciting, if not better than the men's, because of the action is nonstop.
Agreed.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Do you guys think we've gone too long without a women's champion?
Yes.
I don't think we do the tournament. I think we pick number 1 and number 2, and they fight for a belt. Make it Knucklemania. I'm done waiting. I don't want to wait another 8 months. I say we do it right now. I speak for the people, and that's what the fans want to see, baby.
You do. And if we wait another 8 months, you're going to trip over your beard anyway. You won't make it to the fight while you're filming.
Yeah, I'll probably shave it by summer.
But no, I agree. That's actually, Evan, 2 home runs here.
And the reason why I say that,
we're tired of waiting.
The reason why I said that is the women's division has earned more respect than they've earned their respect. They deserve a belt. It's
They'll get
beyond deserving.
That's got to
And
be coming, right?
We
It
have
keeps
to
getting
crown
promised.
a champion now.
How
though.
many times have you heard that said, though? Is it coming or what? What's going on here?
It better.
I agree. And
It-
I kind of want to see a tournament that's
better, like,
exciting.
now.
But I agree with Evan, too. We've waited and let's have one or two. I don't know what I'd want. Again, this is why it's so exciting now. And the other thing I want to say.
And listen, I
What?
get it.
Go
Now, I'm
ahead.
going to catch some heat when I
Why?
walk out of this studio.
For
Like,
what?
why are you bashing BKFC? And
You're
I'm
not bashing them.
I'm not bashing. What I'm saying is, I know it's harder to get a division of women, a lot of women to fight for BKFC versus males. There's more male applicants, more male tryouts. I get all that, and I understand. I respect that. But the women that have fought in this division,
They're ready.
They're ready. They always come to fight. They put out 100% each and every bout. We need to crown a champion, and we need to own it.
I agree. Well, we're going to see what happens. And to piggyback off that comment a little bit, it's very similar to what you're saying. I just want to put this out there because I was on, I do this gig like once a week. It's called Sports Grid. I go on there and I said this on there. And it's so true. For the fans that are just tuning into BKFC, we talked about the men's and women's division being great. The other thing I think fans would agree with is that you watch a UFC, unless you're like a super fight purist fan and you have to see everything boxing. I try to watch the undercard. I enjoy it. However, you're there with your friends, having a couple beers, you're kind of BSing, you're kind of watching. BKFC, you could not know a fighter. It doesn't matter. Top to bottom. And I'm not doing a sales job here. This is from my heart. Top to bottom, from the prelims to the main event. Every fight they come to fight. Every fight's a good fight. You don't have to even know everybody. And then the best part is, once you watch somebody fight on the undercard, you kind of get to know who they are. And now I feel like everyone on the roster matters. It's not just people in the slower card. Who cares? I think that's different with BKFC than most combat sports organizations. So that's why another reason I'm proud to be a part of it, Rob.
And you make a big splash. You come in, you put on a great performance. You're a crowd favorite. It's easier to get catapulted, if you will, to a higher card or against a game opponent. Show up to the tryouts, get in a couple of fights, and you could be in contention within a year.
And we've said this before. When you show up to tryouts and we put trial fights on, always be on the lookout if you hear it's tryouts that are fighting. I'm talking about on the actual card. Actually, I should say this. I don't remember his name. He's such a nice guy. I ran into a fighter in the elevator. I don't think I even told you this, at BKFC in Miami. He was on one of the. I can see his face. I'm so sorry, bro. I wish I remembered your name. He was on one of the prelims, I think. And
At what show?
The last one, Miami. If you could show me, I could show you a picture. I know his name. He was a wonderful guy, but Evan's going to do the research because he's the man, I think. But I was in an elevator at the hotel, and he stopped. He goes, "Oh, my gosh." He goes, "It's so nice to meet you." And I'm like, "Me? Do you know who I am? What are you talking about? Why do you want to meet me?" And he goes, "Oh, the reason I'm here is because of the podcast." I said, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, you guys would talk about how important it was to go to the tryouts, and I was working. And I would always listen to you guys. I love your show." And he said, then I started taking my tip jar and I made an envelope that said, "For BKFC, fun to go to the tryouts." All because we talked about how important it was. And we took a picture. Super nice guy. He was there with his girlfriend or wife, I'm not sure. But he went to 3 different tryouts before they told him.
It was Darwin.
Darwin. How did I forget Darwin's name? Yes, they went to 3 tryouts. And then he was told, "Look, we see what you have. You don't have to keep coming to the tryouts." You know what he did? I love this guy. He came back to a 4th. I mean, this guy making money from his tip jar, hears it on the podcast, and then gets to fight in an arena full of people and recognize a dream. And I hope we see Darwin back.
See the bald dude?
No, he's not bald. I wish we had a picture of him. Darwin was super cool. Go check him out. And if you can,
because I remember
he's not super
one of the
active
guys from the tryouts.
Oh, the bald dude you're talking about was the guy.
Came to multiple tryouts.
Is that the guy that got called last minute? That's Darwin.
Gotcha.
That's Darwin. Look, I'm going to put that kid over. A, because he's a big fan of the podcast, and that made me happy. But B, he said he was there because he heard about it on here. Props to you, man, for not being denied of your dream, man. Seriously, Darwin, that's awesome. That was such a feel-good story. Made me happy.
The guy, I think he quit his job.
Last minute, I talked to him outside the hotel.
Quit his job.
Yes. He was there with his girlfriend. They called him.
And he goes in, he gets lumped up for the first couple of rounds, and the chat's kind of like digging into him. And that really pissed me off, man. The dude's chasing his dream.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Yes.
That's his dream, man. Don't
Do you know what
shit
his
on my
dream
man
was? Do you know what his dream was?
Chasing
He
his
told me
dream.
this.
Whether win, lose, or draw, at least he had enough balls to quit his job and chase his dream.
As you sit there and type
That's
away.
a winner to me. That's a winner to me.
I agree.
So, everyone can be a keyboard warrior, and I'm going a little off script a little.
No,
it pissed
go
me
ahead.
off,
You
man.
should be.
Is my man chased his dream.
Yep.
He may have given fight of the night. He made it to the 5th round, got knocked down a bunch of times. Big shout out to my man. You know, he chased his dream. He lived. He fulfilled it. That's more than 90% of the fucking people out there. Excuse my language. I'm gonna end it on that. You know, that just bash a man for doing what he wanted to do with
They're
his life.
sitting there, and look, man, everyone's going to be.
I'll end on that one.
Back in the day, we used to call them touchstone tough guys when we would do the prank phone calls. Now it's keyboard tough guys, keyboard warriors. People, everyone wants to have an opinion, and it's not always flattering. And I feel like people love to hate on people. Whatever. That's
We'd be a little bit better off in this world if everybody just gave a little bit more support to
Just
one
be
another.
cool, man.
That's it.
But that guy told me outside the hotel, I ran into him and his girl, and he told me the story, and he said, dude, I quit. I'm like, you quit your job? He's like, I'll get another one. He said, but my dream, exact words, my dream is to fight in an arena full of people. And he was so excited to be there. Again, another feel-good moment for me, because we don't always talk about this stuff. You guys don't always see this stuff at the hotels that it happens and stuff like that. And to bump into him again, I wish I could shout him up by name, but I'm not good with names of the guys I just meet. I don't know how I could even forget him, but he fought hard, and I dug him. He's a good guy. So
And awesome. Whether he comes back or not, whether
watch
he never
the prelims.
fights again,
Watch,
that was
he's
a
on the
dream that he
prelims.
fulfilled. And a lot of people, you know, will die not even doing that.
Yeah, so good for him, man.
awesome.
Props to two great prelim guys. A great show today. I mean,
Sorry, chat, for getting all salty.
Yeah,
but I get on
well,
salty.
no,
on
we got
everybody,
emotional.
man.
We did.
Just a little bit.
We ran the gamut of emotions. Show. We asked the tough questions.
Mm-hmm.
We were loving towards each other in the crowd. The people watching out there were very loving towards you.
Yeah, big
and
shout out to everyone that's watching now. That's going to be watching. And
how's the like button doing?
We are at 226. Yo, what's up with YouTube removing the dislike
Let's talk
button
about
too,
this.
man?
Let's talk about this.
If you guys need a holiday stripper, we got one on stand.
Let me tell a story here. I was about 19 years old there, trying to be a pro wrestler, and this was the time, because I used to wrestle in a shirt, this was the time I realized when I had to go to the gym. Why don't you put a bigger picture of me up? Why don't you show when I look good? See, they go right down when I say that.
We've been looking for
Shut up.
20 minutes.
Shut up. I'm a monster. I was a monster. The problem is they did this to set me off, and it worked. That picture always shows up.
How old were you there?
That I was like
Hold on,
19.
you look
maybe.
really jacked in this one. We found it.
You got to put something stupid
No,
up.
no,
I know
no,
they
you
are.
look
I know they
huge.
are. Yeah, no, that one's not that good. You got to find the good one where I'm huge.
Looks like you're a male dancer.
That
at
was.
like
We
a
were called the Chick
review.
Magnets.
Yeah.
And we were in magazines. We almost went to Japan. It was a good
That's
time
awesome,
in my life.
man.
There was 3 of us. Yeah. The Chick.
That's
You got me
cool, dude.
excited. Now the chat doesn't care to see this. We're gonna be kicked off. Look at that. Look at that guy. Next week we're gonna have a better picture of me.
Ratings
where I
are
was huge.
plummeting.
They're all dropping. So yeah, that's when I was in shape before I had 2 kids and before I ate like dirt and didn't sleep much. That was, it went
That
back
happens.
to. But yeah, that's when I knew. I thank you for the before and after. I knew I needed to get in shape. But that picture that they first put up, for some reason, every time I'm giving a back elbow to somebody, I must say, there's no cup there. There's no cup. I'm just saying. There's no stuffing. Anyway, all right, stop making this about me. Get off this. It's not about
man.
me. I'm a chick magnet, brother.
Jumps all over in my face.
Hey, before I was a chick magnet, my old tag team was the Well Hung Warriors, so it works.
My man.
All right, let's
boy.
talk. Let's
Switching
talk
gears.
about switching gears. Totally. Sorry about that. We're gonna get out of here. They threw me off. We have to talk about Jackson coming
Let's
up.
talk
That's
about
gonna
the
be fun.
main event.
Oh man,
January 29th, Friday.
Back to Friday, not Thursday. Thursday's
No.
the next one.
I'm sorry, Saturday.
Saturday. I don't even know what day it
January
is today.
29th.
Oh, you want to talk about it? Go
Let's
ahead. I'm
talk
excited.
about it, man. Julian Lane, Let Me
Me
Bang.
Bang.
Just got
Did you
some
see
new
that
fresh.
tattoo?
Yeah, you got some fresh ink, man.
He said, "Let me bang." We had that on. If you didn't see it on our Instagram, it was up
versus
there.
Caleb Harris.
Oh
boy.
man.
Ooh.
So Caleb, a rich history here. I believe he had knockout of the year. Was it last year? I
He
believe
sure did, man.
2019.
29
Against
wow.
Jonathan Vistante, BKFC 7.
Dude, you're an
That's knockout of the
encyclopedia.
I believe it was fight
decades.
number 3. That might have even been a prelim fight.
Yeah, I mean that's why you have to pay attention to all the fights. That goes back to what I was saying earlier. But Julian Let Me Bang Lane. Let's talk about him for a minute. This guy, since I got here.
And this is a welterweight tournament semifinal, so it's part of a tournament.
Oh, that's exciting. So
Yeah,
we're headed there.
about
We're
time.
headed there. But Julian Lane is this guy that every time I see him on a card, I get excited to watch him fight. Now, reason being that every time I've seen Julian fight, he fights with such heart, such emotion. But more than that, I've seen the guy, we always talk about it, Thiago Alves. It was like days' notice, and he went to a decision with him, and some people argued that Julian may have won. And then you watch, was it Julian Caveman? Look at that fight.
Yeah.
Every fight
What a-
Julian's
what a
in,
war.
every fight he's in is good.
It's a great fight.
and-
Him versus Shove.
And he puts on a show.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Julian Lane fight again. I will always stop what I'm doing to watch Julian Lane. I enjoy what he does.
Caleb Harris.
And
It's
Caleb's
been
another
way
one.
too long. Crowd favorite, man.
Where's he been?
I don't know, but I'm glad to see him back.
Elvin Brito.
Yeah, he's coming.
Brito?
He's coming back, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what Harris has to offer, man. Because as you can see here, look, we're showing the promo for BKFC Fight Night Jackson. It's going to be awesome, man.
My man Burrito's back.
I know. Elvin, I've been waiting for Elvin, who helped train Lorenzo Hunt in Puerto Rico, by the way. And I would say that Elvin is probably one of, I don't want to say he's underrated because he's not. He's one of the most educated bare knuckle fighters I've ever seen. The guy, if you speak to him for 5 minutes, you learn so much. You watch him fight. That man loves fighting and he understands it so deeply.
He's a tactician in this.
Man,
in
he's
this
incredible.
science,
He's incredible.
for sure.
And a great guy too outside the ring. Again, none of these guys would I want to meet inside, but I'm excited to see him make his return too.
Yep.
It's going to be a good time.
January 29th.
And we'll have more on that card coming up. BKFC.com. You can check that out. Everything's up there about buying tickets.
Tickets are live, man. We live.
Oh, they're live now
Yeah,
already.
Go get your tickets.
Jackson, Mississippi, baby. Looking forward to that one. We'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. Now, are we back for good, Rob, or is this just like a special show?
We'll let the fans know next week. Unfortunately, we're not going to have a Thursday show because
what's on Thursday? The show.
Oh, exactly.
So
That's gonna be a tough
I'm
one.
not thinking. I've been yelling Thursday. Don't forget Thursday all week, and I just asked if we're going to be back next week on Thursday. I'm senseless, but it's going to be great. Apparently, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't want to promise anything, but I know last year we did a great Christmas special.
$10,000 giveaway, man.
We're doing that for the Christmas.
Last year. And
that was last year. You're saying you shouldn't have said that because now we have to do that or more.
We have to go bigger or better, man.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So we are going to have a Christmas special.
We are having a Christmas
I just warmed up, dude. This is great.
We are doing giveaways again.
Will there be?
And we want some good stories. I'm not sure whose email to throw out. Maybe we'll just give them info@bareknuckle.tv.
Okay. And what are we trying to accomplish here, Rob?
We want to hear some stories.
Podcast at
Why? I'm sorry. Say that again. Somebody's in my ear.
Podcast at bareknuckle.tv.
Podcast at bareknuckle.tv. Give us your story.
Podcast at bareknuckle.tv. .tv. Don't forget.
Yes. We want to hear the stories. How can we help you out during this holiday season? And please, if you are well off and you don't need the money, save it for somebody else that does. 'Tis the season. You know,
No, I
we're
agree.
trying to give back. So if you're going through some rough times right now, let us know. You know, write us, and we might just pick your story, and we might reach out to you. And hey, listen, if it's a great story, you're like, hey, let's keep this between A and B. You might just get, we will.
And we don't have to say if you're
Correct.
some people are weird about that stuff, which I understand. They feel like they don't want to take a handout even though they need it. Don't feel that way. And we're not going to blast your first and last name out all over the place. We'll talk about you. If you want us to use a fake name, we will. But my thing is I really enjoy doing these type of shows where we just that's why I enjoyed throwing the money to the fans when Lorenzo came to the ring, because if you're spending $4.99 a month or you're buying merchandise from us and you don't have a lot of money, we want to show you the respect you deserve. And we really do. I know I can speak for Rob as well. We respect the fans and we want to make sure that you're well off for your Christmas and can enjoy bare knuckle as well.
So we're going to be taking care of some fans that need it. For those that really don't need it, we have some giveaways for them as well.
Some merch or something.
Absolutely.
Right?
We have a ton of fun merch. We're going to have some... I was about to say.
Hold off on that.
Hold off.
That's gonna be big.
I was getting ready. I was this close to slip.
Are we gonna be Christmas caroling as well? What should I brush up on?
Yeah. A couple of the Christmas Carol songs would be nice.
Before we get out, I have to ask you: do you sing Rudolph
in the shower? I
no,
sure do.
You sound good. I bet you too. You probably look good in the shower too. You probably think that. You ever notice that you get it? Not me. I'm not saying you. Oh, geez. I meant you probably think you look good in the shower. So I have to ask you: when you sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Okay.
Do you do the thing where you go, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose?
Like a light bulb.
Do you do that or you let that go?
It depends, man.
And why has nobody released that song? They could make millions, some artists.
I don't know.
What are they doing?
It's like Sweet Caroline.
Maybe we'll release that next week. We'll record it and release it. That'd be
so
great.
good. So good.
So good. So good. Anyway, I think we've pretty much wrapped it up. I'm going to go warm. I was going to warm my hands by the fire, but it went away. I was going to check my stockings, see if there's any coal in there. Oh, there we go. Ha, ha, ha. It's good stuff. Listen, I had a blast today, Rob. I'm glad to be back with you.
Me too, brother. Good
Thank
to
you
see you.
to the
Great
guys
show.
behind the scenes, Evan and Dave and Dave, DC back there. Everybody, thank you. We missed you. We missed you a whole lot.
Miss the fans the most.
And
Thank
that's
you
why
guys
we're
for
excited to
tuning in.
hook you up with our next podcast. We're going to give you some free stuff for Christmas, spend the holidays together.
You're going to
and
want to tune in.
before that, BKFC.com. Next Thursday. What day?
Like, comment, subscribe.
No, what day?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday.